Look up to the sky, aim for the sun. Hold your head up high, no need to run, to run. I'll be by your side, I will be, I'll be by your side. Look up to the sky, aim for the sun. Hold your head up high, no need to run, to run. I'll be by your side, I will be, I'll be by your side. I'll be by your side, 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 I'll be by your side. I will be, I will be, I will be, I will be, I will be. I'll be by your side. Stop the time, hold your breath. You're the only one I see. Breathe me in, taste your lips. You're the only high I need. I'm losing control. Your eyes entice me. Just letting go. Your hold is tightening. I feel you rushing through my veins. Our bodies getting closer. Your heartbeat drives me insane. me down, you're the flashing lights I see. Catch my soul, lose my mind, you're the only trip I need. I'm losing control, your eyes entice me. Just letting go, your hold is turning. I feel you rushing through my veins. Our bodies getting closer. Your heartbeat drives me insane. I feel you taking over. I feel you rushing through my veins. Our bodies getting closer. Your heartbeat drives me insane. I feel you taking over. You're the only high I need.
Hello and welcome to this NUEL. We're having the semi-finals and the quarterfinals today. First match is going to be Cambridge versus Rogue Swan. We're pretty excited to be here today. Going to be some cool games. We have seen Rogue Swan before, and we actually just casted them, didn't we, Rock, at King of the North. Quick shout out to them. They did pretty well there. Had a little bit of hiccups here and there, but all in all, a good performance.
Yeah, having a very good performance against the side of York, who did actually win out at that tournament. Having a lot of good plays on multiple players, running a couple of different things. Very exciting to see them move on in here. I believe we have most of the maps we have. So our last map's definitely going to be Nepal. And then our second map's going to be Iconville, but we're still waiting on that last one.
Indeed, yeah. So, like you were saying, we have seen some interesting picks coming out for them. Rectangle Bob, in particular, with that Doomfist. Now, we are seeing the teams go on to, probably will see them go on to Kings Row, staple NUEL map. We're probably going to see him bring that out again. He likes to displace the targets on the first point, and then it becomes a bit of the fight devolves a little bit, and they kind of use their mechanical skill to win out most of the time. It is a little bit messy, but so far it's been working.
It certainly has. We are going to be going to Kings Row for our first map. Definitely excited to see that. Rogue Swan have proved that they have been running some interesting things here. They are, I believe, if I remember, well, yeah, and I remember very correctly, they are the players, the team who run that Doomfist comp. Very exciting thing. We saw it last week and we saw it the weekend. Some very fascinating play coming out, really removing the main tank from the situation, pretty much using that Doomfist. Worked out quite well for them. Once York had got the grasp on it, though, they did start to shut it down. And I think that's really going to be the determining factor of how this is going to work out. Because if Cambridge can figure out the comp and really deal with it properly, then it's going to really change how this matchup is going to go. Otherwise, I feel like Swansea are just going to roll over Cambridge, at least on this first map, because they do have a lot of practice here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the big factor is going to be tempo, like he's talking about. So if Rectangle Bob can quickly get this Doomfist in and out, bring in the Knuckle Sandwich, we should be seeing a pretty fast take on this first point. Skyax has already picked up that Reinhardt, so Rectangle Bob's going to be playing into that and having a pretty decent matchup between those two, pushing off the point. What he is going to be wary for is Tentalow's traps on point, the concussion mines moving him out the way. There's going to be this displacement battle going on the point at the moment.
This is if they actually decide to pick it up. Obviously, right now, they're not hovering what they're actually going to be taking, but they might have been practicing something this week, decided it wasn't the best strategy. Perhaps they need more flexibility, so we're going to move back to a more standard comp. It really depends on the situation, but they certainly have made that work quite well. So it wouldn't surprise me a massive amount if they do move right on back into it, because the enemy team is picking a comp. In fact, the exact comp which they want them to be picking if they're going to make this Doomfist work here.
Yeah, so really what we want to see here is Chimpy. We are playing this free, so you have, Mukia. We are seeing this free. So basically we're going to have Mukia, Tontorino, we're going to have Tantalau in the front. But if Mukia needs to, he needs to save on that booster and move back onto Aerox and Z-Fox, just in case the Doomfist moves on. So he really needs to be their peeler, whilst you do see Skyax and Tontorino playing at this front line, cycling out those barriers, make sure they can't do too much damage. And York actually used those barriers to great effect.
Yeah. Tal Neutrino is someone I have seen Cambridge play before. They played against Newcastle. I've watched that game. Definitely a good player on this scenario, so definitely something to watch out for. As we see this Doomfist dive on in and looking to move this main tank out of the way.
Yeah, so quickly you do see Mokia use the boosters immediately, so that's going to prevent him from going back to the back line. The Infinity trying to get onto the back, but taking a lot of damage from that Discord orb, and Billy GG will fall as the first frag in this fight. Coalescence already coming out though, so that's a lot of healing on the side of Swansea. They're going to continue onto this. The Infinity goes low, but gets healed up pretty quickly. Rectangle Bob trying to stay on this, gets pushed off. Metal already got the Riptide, does take out Jonty and Rectangle. It's going to end the fight pretty early.
Yeah, it was a nice couple of ults invested there, coming out from Cambridge, really shutting up the fight. Whereas we see Swansea still don't have a single ult on them. Rectangle Bob not really able to get too much done. In fact, we saw Billy fall early on, and Billy only has 30% on this right now. So definitely something to watch out for, because Rogue Swan really haven't been able to make things work so far.
Yeah, so Rectangle immediately goes back in again, but Tantalao, he's in the front line. Graviton goes down. They have so much ult available, and this fight's just going to be cleaned up before it even begins.
Yeah, it was a brilliant ult coming out from Town Neutrino, completely shutting it down. You've got Skyaxe swinging more of a hammer, but, you know, whatever works, and completely destroying everyone who is stuck in that Graviton surge. Curio being a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, they had that bigger bang set up there on Mukia. They didn't really need the Diva Stealth Strip, which leaves a little bit to desired from the side of Swansea. But they are going to go in once again, just misses the hook onto Skyaxe. And again, there is another Riptide coming off the steam. Beat does go down though, keeping this team a little bit more alive. Billy GG takes the front of the Riptide, doesn't go down. The Infinity pushing them down this alley now. Self-Struck comes out, will find Skyaxe. This is going to be a good opening for this fight to begin. And Mukia gets slammed into the wall. And that's going to be a quick and easy cleanup for Billy GG. Now that they've got on the point, they can just hold this. Rectangle Bob can really just push them in, and Trino actually gets pulled in again, and they're going to push this and press the advantage.
Yeah, it was definitely a really good fight for Rogue Swan. They popped a couple of ults. They are now down in that ultimate economy, but they needed to really spend it there to get through this first point. At least get one tick on the board as they move on through to this Streets phase, where they have been pretty successful so far. Interested to see them staying on Doomfist for Rectangle Bob. Because in general, doesn't do as well on this second point. They have seemed to make it work in the concentrations, but oftentimes they get stuck here and swap off of it.
This is such an odd play coming from Cambridge, sitting all the way at the back here. I know they're waiting for members, but they're giving a lot of free reign to the side of Swansea. Now they're going to come in, probably looking at Trino to pull out that Graviton. Wants to make sure he gets rid of the Diva Major, does get it down. That's a big Graviton here, and pulls out a lot of kills from Muck here, wiping the floor with Swansea.
Yeah, great job out there. Really good focusing coming up from these tanks. And the stall gonna come on to Chimpy. Unfortunate there, as they just completely destroy. They were, as you said, waiting for these members, and it doesn't matter how much space they gave up, because they're gonna completely take it back as soon as they move on in. And we see Mokia actually having this Diva ult back up now.
This is really smart here, because they're going to play it in front of the payload, and they're going to let it trickle on the way back to the side of Swansea, and then just reset all over again. Rectangle Bob has removed one of his cooldowns, so he's going to be having a lot less mobility. Riptide comes out, he's going to be looking for one of the members, does find Chimpy in the back there. That is huge. Billy GG has no more shields to keep him alive on the front line, but Skyaxe is taking a lot of the brunt and will be forced back to spawn. So now it's up to Trino to keep the rest of his team alive. Mokia goes topside. I'm going to wait up here for the time being.
Good play coming out from the side of Cambridge. Really nice focus. It's a little bit sad that Mokia didn't actually find anything with that Diva Bomb, but at least Tantalao found something as they move on in with that beach roll.
Yeah, both Zari shields going down pretty early, but Tantalao out of the fight is going to make this a lot easier for Swansea. They don't have that AoE to deal with a big push coming in. Chimpy just continues to lay down the pain, but knows he's in a bit of a bad position, just remove himself. Coalescence actually comes out early, and he will block the Earth Shadow there, so that's pretty damn good. And Aerox is actually going to keep the rest of his team up with the Transcendence. Now, they really did need that Transcendence a little bit more into this fight. I think they were covered with the Shadow, and Rectangle might just get the opportunity to clean up, unless Z-Fox can continue to use that decay, removing this team from the fight as they crumble to start.
Yeah, generally a good fight coming up from Rogue Swan, really forcing them back with good ultimate usage, but in the end, it seemed like they couldn't get too much in the way of picks kills following up to the fight, so we're gonna see them really struggle as we move on through here, unless they find a pick onto Z-Fox here.
Yeah, that could have been huge, because that would have been taking the Coalescence out of the fight. So Riptide is what's going to need to pull some people off the point. Skyaxe going down early, though, is pretty painful, and that's no more shield. Mokia is just trying to stall on the point, but this fight is pretty much over. There's a lot of squishy targets. Billy GG's can just hold the shield up in the front, and the rest of the team can just push on in.
Yeah, Definity trying to find some shots here, but it's going to be some good picks coming out yet again from Chimpy. Very impressive in this off-tank role, and is going to find picks. Pretty much setting them up to move on to the third and final point of this map.
The Infinity actually understanding very well how to use the Roadhog, take a breather, does use it whenever he's taking damage, and generally just stands in front of the team. I know that seems like a basic thing, but the fact he's actually absorbed so much damage with that has been pretty huge so far.
Certainly has. Interesting to see Tantalao almost got on. Oh, that's really unfortunate for Zephyr, as we see Skyaxe getting moved around here.
Yeah, Rectangle Ball will pull off the map there in the background. Curio will be picked up by this Riptide, so they're going to continue to push in. So it's looking a bit unfavorable on the side of Swansea. Might just to back out. Jonty just get picked off here. The Volt Charge is just zooming up on the side of Cambridge, so they can be able to hold this a little bit longer. 1 minute 51 on the clock. They don't have much time, but so many ults on the side of Swansea.
When they have that shatter to lead into pretty much anything you really want, Tantalal, I know only has 30% charge here, but in the next fight, it wouldn't be surprising to see him with that. And Skyax has been good so far in getting these shatters out. That is, however, something you have to be worried about. That Sky coming out from the Doomfist.
Really unorganized push here. Torino managed to pick up Rectangle Bob. Mukia taking the same trick. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me as we fall down the hole again. As I'm talking about Billy GG falling prey to that little trick that Mukia likes to continue to use. They really need to push around this corner, but they're going to keep falling.
Yeah, that was a really nice ultimate that actually came out from Chimpy, but unfortunately a brilliant shatter coming out from his team as well. Not really landing enough because they just couldn't quite get onto the fight. I believe Skyax actually generated shatter throughout that fight, and it was Rogue Swan couldn't find the follow-up, and if they found pretty much anything as they now swap Chimpy onto a Tracer to try and find more of it and Rectangle onto that Farah, they can actually close out this fight, but they haven't been finding the damage.
Indeed, so they're going to continue on to this point. Chimpy on the Tracer now, Rectangle in the skies will fall. The ton of Torino, that laser is dangerous at close quarters. So Chimpy is going to be the one to follow. Needs to harass that backline now. Z-Fox getting a lot of healing off for free. The Infinity jumping in the front. Skyax's shield very low, will be forced to drop at this point. But Billy GG doesn't have a shadow follow-up. Will block it though with a very, very low health shield. And they're going to continue to pull out here. Rectangle Bob in the skies will get rezzed up. Continue to pressure on this backline. Z-Fox finding Chimpy with the orb, and Justice reigns from above. Won't find too much, and Torino will fall here to a charge. The ball that comes out from Billy GG, they might just be able to push it in there. Jonty making a good attempt to heal everyone. Get quickly denied though by the Riptide, and they're going to be forced off the point now. Overtime is ticking down now, Rock, so they're going to have to be quick getting back on this point, but with limited members, they might be facing a bit of a crushing defeat on this first side of the map. The Infinity back on it with the Winston, gets back into the fight, will fall almost immediately, and a quick smack to the face will pull Rectangle Bob out of the sky.
Yeah, really nice play coming out from the side of Cambridge Cavalry, swapping around all the time as you see Tal Neutrino now on that Tracer, going for those stores, and they really managed to make it work with a good series of picks, and basically just a really nice ultimate coming out, I believe, from Eric's on that Zenyatta. Absolutely fantastic to keep the team alive right at the end there and secure them, well, at least a hold on the last one.
They kept on it for a very long time. Once the Zenyatta came out, though, it was more about keeping that front line alive, which is really important, because if they can keep Tantalal alive long enough, he didn't really acquire much healing. He just needed the space to generate Riptide, generate a bit of damage with the nades coming out. And once he had the space that he needed, pop Riptide, found the key target onto Mercy, and pretty much from there, it was all over for the side of Swans.
It certainly was. Interesting to see what we're going to actually have come out from the side of Cambridge on this offense. They are at least showing a Widow. Not sure if they're actually going to be running it, whether they're looking for information or such the like. We did see a Hanzo relatively recently. I can't quite remember where. We saw Hanzo picked on this map, and it worked out quite well for the team who did. So I wouldn't be super surprised to see it here. It has worked out historically as well. For example, it does have a lot of history here with the 6 scatter arrows, scattering point. A little bit different, but it can get a lot of value here.
Yeah, it could get a lot of value, but a lot of the time you do see a lot of these members jumping. All the key members, at least, are on high ground, and it's difficult to get past Billy GG's shit. You do see Soldier heading up right at the back here. He's probably going to drop a quick back field if things start to get rough, but defending all the way back on the point is pretty important. I think they're anticipating a dive comp, but it looks like we're going to have a double sniper. Tantalal probably just going to use the Sonic Arrow, like you say, for a little bit of reconnaissance, see what they're running, and then go from there.
They are actually going back to that triple tank comp. Most likely going to see Tantalal move on through that. Is he stepping down? Yeah, no, he is. He's moving with the team. This is going to be a Hanzo on offense here. The Skyax goes pretty handy.
Yeah, Billy GG able to do a lot of damage there. Has his area shield up. Jonty finding Eric's in the background there. They're going to have to be forced off because they don't have the speed boost they need to get onto point and start to brawl it out.
interesting to see how Tantalize can work. It does have 60% ult charge already, so pretty impressive there. Certainly something to keep an eye on as we move on through here. Skyax gonna be moving on up as the rest of the team does catch up. Moke looking for the stop.
Yeah, two shielded Reinhardts battling out in the front line, two Titans. Skyax is actually getting a little bit of the advantage, but will fall just as his shatter comes up into play. That's going to be one of those big team white bolts that actually losing at the start of this fight is pretty difficult. Duty Sentinel out in the background though, raining those arrows from the top side. They're going to stay in the shade, just like 300, blocking those arrows out of it. They don't care about fighting there at all.
And if we find a nice shatter from Skyax, this is going to be huge because Tantalai can literally just drop this. Oh, that's going to be beautiful from Town Neutrino. That's going to clean up the fight. Tantalai finding so much damage, and that's going to be a first point wipe. I think Bob does pop the ult and a massive waste coming out from that.
Yeah, Rectangle Bob getting almost immediately deleted as soon as he popped the tac visor. This is not too great in their opinion. Although he does switch over to Pharah, so possibly just getting the ult out of the way whilst he can. But this Pharah pick's gonna be quite well. Depending on how damn good Tantalau's aim is on the Hanzo, he's gonna have a tough time dealing with him in the skies, especially with this free tank combo they do have.
And does take a couple of rockets already. Zephox getting picked off there, rather unfortunate. He's gonna have to move back, and they're gonna have to wait for this member.
So they're pushing up pretty heavy here. Billy GG comes in, finds the hook on Torino, so that's going to remove all this charge that he's been so carefully building up there and be forced to send him back to the base. They're going to continue to stay up here. Tantalao very far back, being very cautious here, knows he can't get caught out by Rectangle.
Certainly, if they get caught out, they do lose so much time. Look, it is being careful. Does still have that ultimate, so it's something to keep in mind. Skyax moves on forward, starting to lead the charge, but they have to be careful because Rectangle Bob has been pretty good on this Pharah, so definitely something to be scared of.
Ooh, perfect, triple kill coming up inside of Makir. The Earth Shatter came down, almost immediately Self-Destruct came out alongside it. Tantalao does use ult, however, but he gets that Dragon Strike back pretty quickly. That was a perfectly executed ultimate. You do see the side of Swansea switching out a lot though. They're wasting a lot of their ult economy that they are progressing, but possibly changing onto a bit of a better comp to deal with this at the moment. Could be a little bit more difficult though. They are only losing because the enemy team press Q. They're having a bit of a tough time, although the communication is absolutely stellar from the side of Cambridge. Coalescence actually coming out here pretty quickly. The Graviton also comes down straight away. He's built it so fast up, and their win condition is the Infinity, getting them off this team right now. Pulse in Skyax will be actually immediately shielded. This ult charge from the side of Cambridge has been absolutely phenomenal, and it's just an onslaught batter from the side of Cambridge at the moment.
Yeah, and that was some really nice tank play coming out from Town Neutrino, alongside Tantalao hitting many shots. And an ultimate that originally I looked at and was kind of going to be disparaging about, but at least managed to find a lot of damage there, whereas otherwise probably would have struggled to really punish them for that slopping it.
The skill gap between both teams is becoming forever more disparate as Cambridge continues to look a lot stronger on this side. We'll get booped out of the way, won't actually get the hook here. Torino finds Rectangle Bob as he pops Justice in midair. It's going to be difficult to hold this now. Skyax does have the shatter again. Tries to pull him off the map. Won't quite get him as he gets a nice little flick on the side of the railings there. Hammer down comes out. Will find Jonty on the side. Billy GG not quite using the advantage of the environment. Won't keep his shield all the way in the side. And Skyax saw that opportunity and he took it.
We're going to probably see Skyax go down here, but the rest of the team is still there. They don't have a numbers advantage, so they have to be careful, especially since it'll be the other team who has that advantage, but they're going to see that ult come out. Does find two Moke here, putting the team on his shoulders, might even take out Rectangle Bob here. It's going to be Tantalao, and that is looking like Cambridge Cavalry might move on through here and take this first map.
This is disgusting. Torino and Mokia constantly having these ults up at all times, and they're going to just push this in so easily. That combo, Dragon Strike, Self-Destruct, Graviton, coming down over and over, absolutely relentless.
Absolutely fantastic play coming from them. Moke on this Diva, finding multiple huge bombs on that offense. Fantastic play from them, and this was just disgusting. Really unfortunate for the side of Swansea, losing it on a map which generally they have a lot of practice on, so it's not looking good for them currently.
Yeah, their presence been quickly removed from this map. doesn't bode well for this team. They're going to be moving on to some other maps now, possibly have a few more combinations in mind that they can use to try and possibly win this one.
Yeah, we are going to be moving to Eichenwald. Certainly a map where we can see more of Rectangle Bob's Farah, perhaps. Not quite sure what we'd see from Cambridge Cavalry. They have been working well on this triple tank, so not super surprised that they might feel slightly comfortable here. You can get that to work quite well. Interested to see if we're going to see any Orisa. Orisa very strong on this map, so excited for that.
Yeah, so Eichenwald, very much one of these maps where the first point is difficult to take. The choke is a bit of a problem child for a lot of teams. However, a lot of the time they just want to rush in, get to the front, and deal with it that way. However, you've got a Reinhardt like Skyax who's able to stay in the front, keep mind of his health bar, keep mind of his shield percentage, and get that Earth shot very quickly. It's going to be difficult to remove around the corner, especially Tonatrino on the Tonatrino on the side with the really nice Zarya shields all game, not wasting them, so to speak, but using his projected barrier very reservedly and in key moments. This is going to be difficult for Rogue Swan. I'd like to see what they pull out to kind of combat.
Certainly will be on the back of players like Billy GG. Has been a fantastic main tank for this team. Rectangle Bob done a lot of work, and Chimpy playing this off-tank role. Oftentimes when they're playing this triple tank, fantastic play coming up there. Jonty, again, a really great healer that we've seen a lot come out of. Definitely want to see them step it up more, perhaps provide more healing to the team, not die as much getting picked. Curia as well, been finding really great frags on that Zenyatta. Want to see more of that. Fantastic headshots coming out from them multiple times over the over the games we've seen from them. So definitely want to see bloodthirsty sports. I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly. Curia has been making a few good picks this game. His transcendences have been much to be desired, however, and Jonty been picked off now and again in not so favorable situations. Has been leading this team to just into a 5v6 very often. So Curio maybe pull himself back a bit more, focus on that right click, charge up those orbs, find the damage into the front line, build transcendence, then use it when it is necessary. A lot of times we do see him use it very prematurely in fights. It takes a little bit of damage and then quickly Cambridge will move in for the kill, pins the team, and you've got no transcendence to deal with that. Especially when there was so many Dragon Strikes coming out, surely you just wait to try and stick on when the Dragon Strike came out, pop the Transcendence then, block so much damage, and then possibly make the hole.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like the team was properly coordinating their ultimates and getting a lot of value out of that. They weren't doing quite as much as Cambridge, who were just, as you said in the game, literally winning all those fights because they were pressing Q. It's often a thing you see, and it's indicative of a team that really needs to work on their ultimate management. Rogue Swan not finding many combos that were working out for them. Billy sometimes finding shatters into perhaps a load of damage coming out from someone else, but it's not a lot of focusing, basically targeting coming out from the team. Perhaps it's on their shot caller or someone, or perhaps it's just that the team isn't on the same page enough.
Yeah, like you say, Billy GG does find those Earth Shatters now and again, but a lot of the times they do feel a little bit desperate. You see Skyax takes his time, keeps his shield up, and then when he sees the opportunity, for instance, let's go back to the very last point on Kings Row when Swansea were on defense. We saw Billy GG backing up around the corner. However, he left like a small part of his shield open and wasn't in the wall. Skyax immediately saw this. He didn't even have to worry about waiting or baiting out the shield drop from Billy GG. Saw that Johnny was behind it, wasn't in cover, dropped the Earth Shatter, and that was quickly it. I think Billy GG actually dropped the shield to try and get in position and fell prey to that Earth Shatter as well, which laid him down on his back. So unfortunate for him. I think he just needs to be a bit more careful with those shield placement.
I mean, in and of itself, that play was a good decision. However, I would like to criticize the way that they didn't really follow up on it. For example, we actually saw the Reinhardt from the side of Cambridge getting picked off there and only really finding one pick, where they should have found that Moira as well. And perhaps even the Reinhardt when that shatter was actually found, but the team did not capitalize on it correctly. And as a result, it was a little bit sloppier than I would have liked.
Yeah, Mokia and Town of Tree now bringing up the rear with those huge bombs and graviton bombs on top of them. Just kind of carrying the team to victory. And I mean, when you're just stuck with six-man gravitons into six-man self-destructs, it's a little bit difficult to deal with that. And I think a lot of the times Swansea just weren't making themselves scarce enough. I think maybe if they thin out their comp at the moment, go for a bit of a 2-2-2 or a three-man team on either side, try and dodge these graviton bombs, they might have a little bit of an easier time.
Perhaps they will. Gonna see Rectangle Bob perhaps back on this Doomfist. Interested to see how that works out here. Perhaps they're going with the same sort of strategy because you do see a lot of Rhino here, but also Rectangle Bob being one of those few players who we do see play Doomfist in this tournament, and certainly making it work so far. Other than what we saw in the last game, where it was a little bit lackluster, especially on those later points.
Playing it into this comp again, they've already got, they've got past this surprisal. Rectangle Ball comes in immediately, and probably going to be Makia with the Junkrat. But as I said, I will fall to Billy GG. Immediately gets res though, uncontested, and he can continue to put down the pain with his concussion mines. Does go around the backside here, flanking onto them. Skax falling in the distance over there, and Billy GG just smacking away at that small room. Once they're in there, it's pretty much easy for Swansea to clear up, because you're in the tiniest of chokes against a Doomfist and a Reinhardt, and they're going to tick this over and take the first point with relative ease there. I kind of thought that Cambridge would be expecting that.
One would have thought, but they really didn't do enough. They just got ran at, basically, and they did not respond correctly to the situation. Interesting to see them swap onto a Winston in response to this, perhaps feeling like it suits the second stage better, and they themselves want to go for more of a dive confidence. They did work better on the offense last time. Perhaps they're more of an offensive team. But certainly strange to see them swap onto this after getting dived so hard. And it's fun to see Rectangle Ball on this fire with Chimpy on the sketch.
Yeah, just having a little bit of a contest up here. I think they're going for a bit of a transitional comp, but really what you want to do is wait till you use the ultimates from your comp before switching off. So it happens one at a time rather than the entire team switching off. Just kind of screwed with their ult economy a little bit. So it's a bit of a confusing play. Despite this, they are continuing to push onto point. Rectangle Bob all the way up in the face of Mock here. With that discard, we're fine to direct hit into the air. And Mock is just going to say goodbye, take a quick trip down memory lane, and fall to his death.
Absolutely brilliant plays coming out from Rogue Swan here. They're double. It seems like 2-2-2 is fitting them quite well, especially with these diving tanks, where Billy GG can go as aggressive as they want, and Rectangle Bob was completely left alone to do whatever they want in this guy. Perhaps it's because the surprise mistake, we're going to see them fight again. And Eric's popping that Transcendence out.
Sentinel looking for a big justice play here. Will find the barrage, finds 5. That is pretty big. Just the communication between Cambridge has been absolutely spectacular this entire game. Town of Trino, Tentalao working together as a team. That's what I like to see.
And this is actually pretty similar to what we saw last game, where Cambridge Cavalry, at least, well, last time they were strong on the first point for at least the first few seconds, sorry, the first few pushes, but then they got rolled, and they got rolled through seat space, and then they started to really gather themselves together after one really nice ultimate combo. How did you know takes out Cambridge?
Yeah, so that's a big pick on the start of this fight, because they don't have Transcendence now to get through this. They don't have too many ults, so then it wasn't going to deflect against self-destruct. John T will use that Valkyrie to hide around the corner. Tantala's still been an issue in the skies, though, but Billy GG will find the pick onto him. The barrage will be summoned, and quickly Monkey will go up there to try and damage him. Doesn't find too much there. Makir stays on point. Nice Diva Matrix coming out from here. And here we go. Curia comes out with the Transcendence, trying to keep the vast majority of his team alive. But Skyax just remaining on point with the Tesla Cannon, doing a lot of damage to his team. Chimpy pulls out the Dragon Bait, will be immediately sat down by Skyax, though. And this is going to make them hold here pretty well, with quite a few ults on the way as well.
That was certainly some really good play coming out from Cambridge. I had them penned down as pretty messed up there. Didn't really have any players on point, but brilliant healing coming out from Zephox, flitting about the sky and really keeping themselves alive, as we saw Tau Neutrino in the background, in the back line. Mokir on point, and with Skyax stalling all out, and really great play and teamwork coming out from Cambridge Capital.
they really have not much to answer the enemy team with. And if Cambridge can just cycle out the ultimates here, things are going to be looking pretty difficult for Swansea. As they're always going to have this ult economy advantage. Counter-Trino does pop the attack visor, gets immediately popped down though. Tentalao finding a couple of kills with that barrage, but it is so close to victory here. Valkyrie forced to pop out, and a lot of ultimates actually been used on the side of Cambridge. So a good push all in all, and it's going to give them a chance to go back in it.
Rogue Swan are going to have to group up. Billy GG dying that late is pretty terrible for them. They are now really stalled. If Chimpy could possibly find that pick, but now he's 1v2, is going to have to retreat. Really unfortunate for them, as they're just about going to be able to start moving out now.
Yeah, 1 minute 43 on the clock, not looking too hot on the side of Swansea right now. Mokia taking a lot of damage, will take him down. This is time to actually kill Mokia though. Maybe sacrifice the Diva mech from Billy GG to pick up Mokia in that fight before he gets back into mech, because he's in such a vulnerable situation. Now Mokia's back in mech again, can deal with this team. Chimpy pulls out the Dragon Blade, Wolfang Counter-Trino, a good pick, and then another ultimate from the side of Rectangle Bob. Will pick up the attack visor, trying to finish this up now. No self-destruct to zone them off it, and finally Billy GG can find those kills with the self-destruct of his own.
Yeah, really good ultimate usage coming out from Rogue Swan there. Not so coordinated, but really good individual ultimate usage coming out from this team. Chimpy finding two, really nice ultimate from Billy. Really getting together on this team and starting to shift gears.
Yeah, exactly. And Curio can actually use his Transcendence pretty offensively if he's reading the enemy team's ults, because there's not much that he actually needs to use it for. So if he can use it in this upcoming fight to actually bring in the Infinity to the front of the fight, in the front line with the Transcendence on top of him, he can just continue to pop in that Tesla cannon on the entire team, doing 360 damage per second. Skyax taking the brunt of it though. It does pierce through the shield, and there we go. The Infinity will take down Skyax. We're going to give them the opportunity and the space they need on the front to push in here. And like I said, Rectangle Bob can just pop the Helix rockets into the backline with no shield stopping him from doing so. This is looking pretty heavily swayed in the favor of Swansea. Looking at who can get on the point first, really, though. Skyax does find the charge onto Mokia, falls pretty shortly afterwards. Chimpy remaining on it. B is dropped now. Graviton already up from down to Trino, and we have said it before, he gets those ultimates so fast, reservedly using those projected barriers to produce energy. You can see him, he's already on 91, and this fight has just gone so south for Swansea.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. Even though they managed to take out Tantalao's ultimate there, it was going to follow up on the ultimate that came out from Counter-Trino. They still lost the fight. Brilliant shots and mines coming out from Tantalao. Does hold these corners with some good Junkrat nades and pretty nice spam to just try and keep him at bay, as he's already at 70%, even more.
Self-destruct does come out here, doesn't find anyone, gets caught on the corner. It's going to be up to Rectangle Bob with his tech visor to find some kills. Self-destruct goes down, he's not in a great position, does find cover behind this pillar though, but Town of Dreams is going to sit there, pop the bombs onto him. Will fall afterwards to Curie though, nice headshot from him. Skyax, not much shield left on him, and a nice discord placed onto him will make him fall very quickly now. And Tantalao, last minute Riptile, will find a kill onto the Infinity, but there's lots of members on the point so far of Swansea versus these guys, but these defensive advantage on the spawn is strong on the side of Cambridge as they keep flooding out the gate. They need to make this clean, they need to make it quick. Payload moving in, can they get to the point? Skyax just quite touches the end. Curio keeping his team alive now at Transcendence. Team is just staying in the back though, and Z-Fox healing his team up, allowing them to keep through that Transcendence is pretty good, but Skyax falling a 0x value afterwards is going to be feeling pretty bad for the side of Cambridge as they continue to push this in. Will they find it? Going into overtime now. Mokia remaining on the point, and they just managed to push it in as overtime comes onto the clock.
Yeah, that's really nice push coming out from the side of Swansea, managing to just about clinch it in there. A really great series of plays actually coming out from Chimpy on that Genji. Absolutely fantastic play. In fact, finding multiple picks, setting up a couple of others, and just staying alive, doing so much damage output in that last fight that really set his team up to do super well. And very much added to what we saw come out from those tank players and from the rest of the team.
Yeah, this was a really good push, and Curio, I think he's actually learned his lesson from King's Row now. Does use his Transcendence much better than before, at least. He's reading the ultimates on the enemy team, knows when he can get away with using it offensively, knows when he has to save it defensively. So as we come off that last point, he put in a lot of damage at the front line and acquired Transcendence once again, and keeping it up to allow the rest of his respawns to get onto the point and make it a 6-man was extremely important in taking that last final couple of meters.
It certainly will. As Tantalal moving now onto this Genji. Interesting to see double dive DPS is coming out here. And most likely, a bit surprised about that Roadhog. Perhaps that's a comfort pick, but I would very much like to see Mokir move onto that D.Va, run a full dedicated dive squad, rather than running the Roadhog, which seems a little bit disconnected from the rest of the team comp's ideals.
Yeah, I mean, you have Aerux to speed boost to him, but he's just going to be kind of waddling on this side. Town of Trina does pick up onto the Widow. So now they have Aerux, Town of Trina, Mokir on this back line, this 3-man team, whereas you got Tantalal, Z-Fox, and Skyax staying up the front. So they're probably going to jump on the back line, try find the kill onto Jonty or Curio before Curio can find the Transcendence or the Valkyrie comes up. So that's going to be really important in this actual take of this first point right now. See if we can do it just as fast as Swans.
Yeah, and we do actually see a complete paradigm shift coming out from the side of Cambridge as they move into the Reinhardt Zarya comp. They really have to deal with this spam coming up from the reset. Excited to see that coming from that Billy GG. Definitely a good pick on this map and holding this initial choke that it's just going to roll on through. Now Roguesworn have to peel off. They have to be careful about Rectangle Bob's Farah. That's a nice hook, and that's going to finish off Curio.
Yeah, a really nice fire strike there will get Curio out of the fight. So that's no Orb of Harmony or Discord, which is extremely important, taking these tanks down. So him going out is a really unfortunate fight. Skyax needs to get his shield up soon though, but Billy GG trying to dance around that shield. Won't dance too long though and will fall, and that will be his final waltz as Rectangle Pop is found in the sky to Aerux. It's got to be scary having that huge laser pointed in your face.
It certainly does, and Affinity is going to go down relatively close to the ultimate then. That's a nice stall coming out from Cambridge as they move on through here and take the first point in pretty similar timing to what we saw come out from the side of Swansea. Both teams looking pretty good on that first point taken. Now it's gonna be this streets phase where is really where Cambridge held their defense. It's gonna be down to the side of Swansea to try and replicate that basically.
Tactical snipe from Tantalal throws out the concussion blast and actually gets Chimpy off the side of the map. He's going to reset on high ground now, try and find this kill on the Tantalal in the skies. He does have Barrage, however, and you've got to be careful of Town of Trina because he has such an amazing placement for those Gravitons. Does find 6-man, but every time he finds a 6-man, it's always in coordination with his team. Although that might be a little bit difficult because you do have a 6-man offensive ult, it's going to be difficult for them to actually get on top of that. Chimpy, though, finding the double with that tag visor. Pretty easy for them, but they can quickly reset on this. It's 2 ults down for them, and they've got 4 ults to counter with this right now. Curio is the one to be careful of with the Transcendence.
Actually, I think that was 4 ults invested there. A little bit of an overinvestment. Did at least win them the fight as they blew Chimpies, Rectangles, Jonties, and Billies in those fights. So feeling a little bit awkward, but it does work out for them at least for now.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Curio now. With Chimpy on this, we'll find the Graviton though. A big Graviton will find a lot of damage with Tantalals in the sky, but we've been Mokir picking the kills here with the Gatling gun on the point, and they're going to be able to push this around the corner. Now, what I was saying was that I'm not sure about Curio on the Zenyatta at the moment. His mobility is severely reduced, doesn't have the actual Lucio to speed boost him around, and is with this Mercy. And see, like, he just has to walk back, and quickly Mokir can reposition, pick up the hook onto him, and take him out of this fight. And he's crucial here. You need him with the Discord orb to take down Skyax or Mokir, and they're going to be able to push this one in pretty easily.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a last-ditch attempt to try and stall, but Cambridge have been pretty disciplined so far, so expect them to hold it out here if they just manage to get a hold on the situation. As Skyax is being pretty aggressive and holding back 3 members of the team alongside Tantalal as the brawl on point starts now.
Yeah, Tantalao stuck in the background there between Z-Fox and Tantalao. Will pick up the kill onto him. Billy GG taking all damage. They're clumped up here, so those rockets are extremely effective. Chimpy falling next to Mokir. On point like this, I don't know if Widow was such a great pick. And just to put the nail in the coffin, we'll continue to swing at Billy GG's destroyed mech.
And Skyax does now have this ultimate coming up. Good to combo with someone like Tantalal, perhaps even Aerux. We have seen these Moras doing a lot of damage with that ultimate, so something to keep an eye out for. As you see, Chimpy swap off of that Widow, as he said, now is going to be on this Junkrat, and Rectangle Bob swapping onto McCree.
Yeah, so again, this team is just so immobile now. It's going to be so easy for Neutrino to pick up another Graviton and get that in, and then Tentalar's just going to quickly follow up with a Barrage. Although they're losing here, it's just going to be quickly until they get that next Graviton in before this fight quickly sways in the favor of Cambridge. I do like this push up, though. The Infinity popping the Primal, I'm not too sure about, unless they can get a couple of kills with it. But now they don't have anything to stall on point.
That is true, but Cambridge still have 4, almost 5 with Mokia there, ultimates for the team. So definitely going to have a lot to work with. Rectangle Bob trying to catch up and maybe drop a high need to try and counter some sort of push coming out from Cambridge, but so far Cambridge have been feeling good.
So really what we want to see here is the shatter into the barrage, because if you can get Curio down on his back, he can't pop the Transcenders. Graviton, Curio is just going to quickly, and there it is, does find Curio, and they're going to pop this down. Curio not quite going down, but a lot of his team is already there. Billy GG pops this self-destruct now. We'll use the shield to defend off it on the side of Skyax, and they continue to push this in. Skyax just has amazing timing at the moment. Those shatters been absolutely important. Riptide comes out, going to look for one of the key members of the team, goes around the backside, going to look for Tantalao actually. He's looking badly in the favorite, but Moira might be the one to go down, but finds Skyax instead. A complete turnaround, and another Graviton comes down here, and he's going to quickly clean this up. Billy GG now needs to fall next, and with that the actual mech destroyed is going to buy them a little bit of time, but Johnny can't quite get on it, and they're going to push this through with a little bit of time to spare. So now they get the second attempt.
They do, and it's looking good for the side of Cambridge. Really nice fights coming out from them, very clean and taking themselves into gear as they oftentimes they get reset, but they're not getting staggered, for example, like we saw often happen to the side of Swansea. Is basically they're just not being so grouped up when they fight the side of Rogue Swan. And see, this is something that is an issue for them, and also something I wish they'd do more. So, for example, they were oftentimes getting hit every single ultimate in six-man Zarya ultimates, which really shouldn't be happening in nearly any situation. You should be slightly more spread out. But then every other time when they're spread out too much, they get caught out, and we see one player get picked early on, they lose the fight, or everyone else dies, and there's one player who's like 200 meters away from everyone else and gets staggered, and it really feels awful for them so far. If they can make a good hold on this first point, though, I think they might start to turn this around.
Yeah, possibly, but like you were saying, they didn't group up, but also, more importantly, they were never on the payload. So payload was always moving in the favor of Cambridge, despite them wiping on it. Even if they had a team fight, the payload would move up, and Swansea just forever kept backing up, doing a bit of a moonwalk here, getting some tips from Michael Jackson himself. But we're going to see this first point straight away. Pretty classic from the side of Cambridge right now. They do have Skyax on the Reinhardt and Neutrino on Zai.
They do, and Neutrino has been fantastic so far. Definitely something to keep an eye out for. Skyax being pretty aggressive here, moving on up, taking a lot of shield damage though, and he needs to be careful as he does have that Diva looking out. As Rectangle Bob actually takes out Tantalao, and that's going to be awkward for Cambridge to really do much, and they're going to have to fall back as Skyax does go down.
Yeah, they're going to quickly realize that this fight isn't going in their favor. If they force this any longer, they're going to be feeling ult charge, especially with Mock here, such a big target, 600 HP to pop more bullets into and rockets. The Infinity getting a little bit aggressive here. I'm not sure if Xerox can survive this, but obviously Morris, such a slippy character, won't quite find the charge onto him, but does find the fire strike onto Rectangle Bob. That's important. They can continue to push into this as the respawns are in the favor of Cambridge right now. Rectangle Bob out of the sky is going to give free reign for Tantalao to do his thing in the backside, and Neutrino already produced Graviton. Curio does have the Transcenders to block this out though. Coalescence coming out onto Chimpy, will find him. Curio gets blocked off, and his Transcenders won't be in range for Chimpy to take advantage of. I'm going to continue to stay on point. Both supports down now. Rectangle Bob up to him to keep them off it. He's popped the barrage, but will fall to Neutrino once again. The laser being the anti-air cannon at the moment. Z-Fox staying on point with Xerox. Here comes the stealth truck. Will it find any characters of Cambridge? Won't find them again. Tantalao just missing the kill onto Billy GG as he crawls back into mech here. Chimpy, probably the one they need to focus on, doing some damage on the backline. Zephyr managing to get out the way. Chimpy remaining on point for as long as possible, giving his team time to get onto it. Jonty is back up again. Will he find a nice res in this fight as he flies around to get out of harm's way? Rectangle down, will find the shadow of the rectangle button, and that's huge. Curio also not in great position. Sky Axe, you monster right now. Jonty falls next, and it's up to the infinity, but I doubt that this is going to go in the favor of Swansea at this point.
Yeah, no, Sky Axe felling like trees, but if they lose this fight here, it's been going on for so long, they are going to lose out here, but good stick from Chimpy, actually taking out Zefox, but it's still these remaining members from the side of Cambridge on here, and they are going to take it out. Brilliant play from them, and that's going to be Cambridge taking it 2-0 over Swansea. A pretty stompy series of games.
Ooh, that was fairly impressive. Sky, I mean, those kind of fights where they just go on for a bit longer, it's all of the mechanical skill. And Skyax, he had it. You see Rectangle Bob here in the play of the game. He has some great aim, but the team behind him was just not always in the correct positioning. It looked like he did carry them out on that last couple of meters on the first point.
It certainly is an impressive series of plays. Interesting to see whether we're going to be... I'm interested to see what teams we're going to be seeing move on through to the next match. Certainly seeing a high level of play, as we saw Cambridge with some really great team play. So very excited to see if perhaps we're seeing teams like the side of, I believe, York are in the top seed. Interested to see whether they will get eliminated so early as they did last time, or whether they will continue their dominance in the best top 8 rather than getting eliminated.
Yeah, Cambridge just had the spook on them, really, with the Doomfist. They quickly understood what was going on and played around it. That was kind of their secret weapon from the right side of Swan. But they do have good mechanical skill, and it was just a little bit unfortunate, and Cambridge had the edge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we have had some pretty good plays coming out from everyone, but unfortunately, we will be having to wait for the other matches. We do have, obviously, some matches going on a little bit longer than this. We had some relatively fast matches, so we will hopefully be getting back to you soon, and we will see you after the break.
Every time that you call my name, I want to make your move, but I'm scared to say it. It's taken a while to get this far, I'm caught in the way. It's taken a lot to get this close, we're one and the same. Chasing colors after dark in your heart, I believe in you the way you pull me in. Can't pretend we're a work of art. After dark in your heart, I believe in you the way you pull me in. Can't pretend I'll be chasing colors. So beautiful when you call, tell me we won't change. I want to make your move, but I'm scared to say it. It's taken a while to get this far. I'm caught in the way. It's taken a lot to get this flow, 'cause we're one and the same. Chasing colors after dark in your heart. I believe in you the way you pull me in. Can't pretend we're a work of art. After dark in your heart. I believe in you the way you pull me in. Can't pretend I'll be chasing colors. Wasting time on my own. All the places you said we go. All this pain builds within. Footsteps fade, what could have been? Finally I feel more free. The end of you and me. Let it go, let it be. My heart belongs to me. My heart belongs to me. Ooh, you're never gonna let me go, and I won't ever let you go. And now I'm feeling stronger, feeling stronger. Ooh, you're never gonna let me go, and I Wasting time on my own. All the places you said we go. All this pain builds within. Footsteps fade, what could have been? Finally I feel more free. The end of you and me. Let it go, let it be. My heart belongs to me. My heart belongs to me. Here I am again, floating through the silence in my cold skin. My body is wearing thin. My fears tell me I'll never win. My body is wearing thin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We're here for the first semi-final between Cambridge and York. I'm really excited for where this is going to go. These are two brilliant teams. Cambridge, absolutely brilliant teamwork coming out here. Did just beat Swansea. York are now the first seed, still managing to win through the first round, doing really, really well. And really excited to see how they're going to play. They did recently win King of the North, so they have got a lot under their belt already, having won on LAN against the old Birmingham Zeus team. So definitely excited for what this team can do, especially Z7K. Showed up massively on LAN, on that Roadhog. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, we saw him at King of the North, didn't we, Rock? The guy is an insane Roadhog, finds the hooks when they're necessary. The master fisherman himself, back to show us what's up. We'll switch onto this Widow, though, give us a little bit of a hard time. I hope he switches back onto the Roadhog. But we'll see. So what we're first saying is we're going to see the side of Cambridge on the defense here. Just choosing what they want.
They certainly do. I mean, Z7K, you can put them on whatever you want, basically. As long as it does damage, Z7K can play it. We've seen them play multiple things around DPS and specifically Roadhog on the tank. I think they may have momentarily picked up something like the D.Va, but don't really remember it. It certainly wasn't what they were known for. Something I am, however, excited to see is Aerux on this. Oh, they're not playing Sombra. I thought they were even playing Sombra. They got me all excited for it, and then they just go and jump in the air off the cliff.
Yeah, we'll see if to switch onto. We might be bamboozled once again, but no, we do see Skax jump onto the Winston, and Aerux is onto the Moira. Now onto Lucio, the man. He's a man of many talents, just likes to let us know there. Town of Trino, no longer on the Zarya, onto the Tracer. Especially on these maps where there are so many places where you can flank from, having a Tracer is pretty essential. And a really big help to this team. Z7K is going to be a big sponge though, but at the same time, that's going to be more pulse bombs, Rock.
It certainly is. I mean, Underwatch have been pretty adept in using this quad tank comp. They have been playing multiple things, to be fair. They can run pretty much any comp, and as highlighted in their interview, they are a very versatile team. So excited to see how they're really going to utilize that over this entire series.
Strange though, playing a lot of footsie battle characters when there is such a prominent high ground available to the side of the Cambridge, but they are going to quickly dive in here to begin the fight off to a quick start. You see Town of Trino in the background once again, but it will be Aerux who falls first in this fight. Mokia just escaping out of there, Z-Fox following shortly behind him. They're going to let this push through. I think they're probably going to wait for Aerux to get back in before they contest this, but it's going to give them a bit of time to push in. Z7K, I think he got the nice little hook onto Town of Trino and picked him up.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Town of Trino's got that message. As they move on through here, we see Tantalao pop that ultimate, but only really manages to find two. Looking for that third, almost finds it. Is actually going to possibly bring Cambridge back into a position where they can actually win out this fight. Interesting shot.
Yeah, here we go. JK Lol coming out from the sidelines, comes out from his little cave and pulls out the big shatter. Aerux does get rezzed here, so we'll be able to use the speed boost to get out of it. And it's going to be G-Moon who it does get demeched in this fight. Just dancing around the side pass whilst Skyx tries to stall out a little bit. Beat does go down now, giving a little bit more survivability on the point. Z7K pops the whole log, looking to kill onto Aerux, who does find cover there. Pulse bomb goes down, but G-Moon in the sky finds the double onto Aerux and Town of Trino. That's going to make it a little bit more difficult for them here, and Z7K just continues to clean up.
Yeah, Zreek and the gang moving on through here. Durf doing a really good job on this. Zarya has been pretty impressive on many things, to be honest, with Neil on this team in that off-tank role, in a couple of situations playing that Winston, which has been very impressive too. Interesting to see that variance coming out, multiple teams running the same player who plays like Zarya and plays the Winston, whereas then you have the Reinhardt player plays something like D.Va or maybe even the Roadhog, depending on the situation. So when you are running 2v2, you can swap off and you can have different players playing different lanes.
Yeah, definitely. So we do see Tantalao still on the Dragon. It does have to pull out the Dragon Blade straight away, but countered immediately by the Graviton, putting him into a corner. Mocket only finds its Paddy D here, and it's not enough to stop this push.
And Zreek is going to chase down. It's going to be Z7K to find that hook kill, and looks like York going to take this Streets phase with very little responses coming, very few, sorry, responses coming out from Cambridge as they are holed up yet again in this area.
Yeah, Z7K being the butcher of York at the moment, hanging the enemy team up in the freezer right now. We are going to see Tentalao come on this side though, going for the flank. Mokia gets in the front line, gets immediately pulled in. SkyX actually jumps in the way of it, being the hero that Mokia needs. Beat does go down, so they do have a lot more survivability here. The big overshield keeps them alive. It does go down finally though, but Faustin finds Town of Trina, so no more shields for SkyX as he falls to another whole hog. Z7K, an absolute battering ram on the side of York. Goes up in the air though. We do see the self-destruct keep him off the point whilst it pushed in that final few meters. Does find it, and Tentalao is going to get hooked, and that's going to be game over from the side of G-Moon. Gets him in the sky.
A nice zoning ultimate coming up from G-Moon to roll him on through. Couldn't really have Mokia move on there when you have that ultimate just waiting to explode. Really good push from them, and they managed to get that better spawn for themselves. So now they're looking to try and move on to this third point. They do have that shatter from JK Lol, and so far has been really impressive on this Reinhardt. So definitely one to watch out.
Eric's now on the Zenyatta. Get those discords out onto the enemy team with those big beefy targets. Pull them down as soon as possible. SkyX on the side here. He does have Earthshatter. Waiting to use it. Blocks the first one. Trying to go in for the second, but doesn't matter because Mokia will find the kills. Probably won't have to use it here. Barrage just coming in to finish off the job. Z7K, a discord orb on top of them. Gets out with the help of Azaria's shield. But SkyX comes flying in. Is he going to be able to finish some of the kills here? I don't believe so. He's just going to back out, but this could be looking pretty bad for the side of Cambridge. They may have pushed a little bit too far into the Hornet's nest here, and they'll be forced to retreat. Now they're going to have a bit of a counter push from the side. SkyX's shield is quite low, and two gravitons come down along each other. A Venn diagram of bombs, and they stay in the sky. SkyX stuck in a bit of an awkward position. Eric's comes in just a little bit too late to keep SkyX up in this fight. Mokia finds the kill onto JK Lol. Both Reinhardt's down now. No shield for either side, and both teams are looking like they're just going to retreat out here and just regroup.
Yeah, that was a nice hook to try and take up Mokia. Might just about catch them. They do go down and lose that mech. Really unfortunate. They don't want to feed them any ult charge, but they're still moving on. They're deciding now is their time, and they're going to roll on in with a great bomb setup from G-Moon. Gonna find one, and and York are going to roll right on in here with all of that move.
It looked like SkyX actually had his shield up, but Z-Fox will peek Town of Trina back into the fight here. Z7K finds the D-Mech on Mokia, so he's going to be forcing the backlines, but not before he's pretty deep and come and finish up the job onto him. Barrage out again, but a little bit far away. Those rockets not quite reaching the target they wanted to, and they're just giving free reign to push this in. No one's contesting it right now. Immediately, G-Moon pushes Tentalao off the point, and they're just going to push it in. No one's on it whatsoever. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was really nice series of plays coming out from York. They looked in control for pretty much the majority of the map. They lost one or two players and decided, you know what, cut our losses pretty early. Not too early that they're kind of throwing away possible pushes, but as soon as they lost like one or two members, they would instantly fall back, and really good discipline coming out from the York team. And really nice teamwork to actually combine those ultimates and stay on the point and keep people off the entire time, as we saw in the last point.
Yeah, like you're saying, it is exactly that. They saw that whenever they lost a fight, lost a crucial member, they just back out, wait for him to come back, and then reinitiate the push. So you saw like something nigh on about 6 or 7 attacks on that whole entire run, whereas maybe a less disciplined team wouldn't find that many attacks. Just give them the opportunity to just pull things up. So Cambridge has been under this onslaught the entire time. Z7K always having this hog available for the last little pushes in, and we're going to be seeing York on the defense now. We'll pick up Z7K as usual on his Roadhog. It's Paddy D on the Moira, going to keep this team alive. So a pretty standard 4-tank comp coming out from these guys.
They ran it on offense, and they're going to run it on defense, because you know what? Right now, it's a pretty strong comp, but they are very adept at running it. Definitely been a hallmark of their team so far, as they have been brilliant. Interesting to see Tentalao possibly move onto this Farah. Interesting to see whether that's definitely a good pick on this first point. There is a lot of space for them to work with, a decent amount of cover, at least on the early parts of this point, to take in. But on the second part, might be struggling a little bit for them if they get hit. We have seen how good Z7K's hooks are, so definitely something to keep an eye out for. Perhaps G-Moon diving right on.
Yeah, especially. So G-Moon and Z7K are going to have to pull up the slack here on the Farah in the skies. But hopefully the co-pilot Mercy and the reigning champion Tentalao in the skies of the actual fight. Well, Tentalao is just going to be staying up here. just raining down these rockets, looking for a quick kill at the beginning. Doesn't quite find anything yet, but they're still pushing around the corner. A lot of the team of Cambridge are backing off, actually waiting for Sky to make that quick switch out onto the Reinhardt. Knows he needs a frontline attacker, but they're taking a lot of time with it. It does find Eric's onto the Zenyatta, as well as because they know they need that Discord orb. So now they're pretty much set.
That is about 40 seconds going instantly in the way of York, and that's not what you want to do if you're Cambridge. York have been so dominant in that first attack, and a really nice hit from ZWK, almost taking out that Diva, but just about going to escape, but is going to get taken down. G-Moon with a really nice dive in Skyaxe.
Tantalite already with that barrage. Z7K taking a lot of damage will fall pretty much straight afterwards. Skyx with the Orb of Harmony. It's not really harmonious as he goes around smacking the enemy Reinhardt out of the game there, but it is what it is.
Hey man, drums has got some real rhythm going, don't knock it. As he certainly was playing drums with their skulls. As doing a really good job rolling on in there. And Tau Neutrino on this Reaper. Certainly a good pick against this quad gank, and perhaps we'll see a swap coming out from the York side as they are being, well, pretty heavily counterpicked. But ZWK at least finding the opening pick. Wow.
Town of Trino smacked up into the air, does find the Death Blossom shooting downwards, seems like he can do so. Bit of an acrobat, this Town of Trino himself. Death 2000 does go in to try and finish up the job, won't quite find him. Z7K pops the whole hog. Town of Trino not quite finding the cover behind the payload that he was looking for, will continue to fight. Tental out in the background, are looking for the Moira, does have the Decay on him, so he needs to get out there as soon as possible. Zarik, his next target. Aerux, really nice Zenyatta, although keeping them on the point. Skyx got fairly low there, but immediately brought back up to health. Self-destruct goes down, doesn't find anyone between the wall and the payload. Not a great place to be. Mokir finds the Bunny Blaster onto Zarik before he jumps back into the mech again. And Eric's finds the kill onto Z7K. And once again, another Death Blossom and a barrage to finish this one off. So quick, so fast.
And that is Cambridge in a nutshell. Absolutely fantastic ult usage, especially from players like Tau Neutrino, the one who was setting up so many grabs for Tantalao, and now on this Reaper, setting up himself with just some brilliant Death Blossoms. Finally getting the kill credits for themselves. Well, not quite the kill credits, but definitely a lot of that damage. As Tantalao actually swaps off from that far off, obviously not feeling it on this second point onto that Genji.
Gotta think where he gets all his ammo from though. I mean, he had 2 Death Blossom, that's a lot of bullets coming out there. Not sure where he keeps it all. But quickly into this next fight, Graviton goes down. Skyx is desperately trying to keep that shield up, does get charged into the wall, and Z-Fox in the corner gets put down, and Mokir comes out again, and we'll just quickly reset here and knows that he's not getting his mech back anytime soon, just goes straight back to the drawing.
So that was some really nice shots coming out from the Sojin, a really nice dive coming out. Interesting to see Z7K, yeah, on this Widow. Absolutely fantastic Widow player, certainly, but whether they're going to make it work here is interesting to see, because Cambridge are very good at doing this grouping and dealing with a certain line of sight, because Skyaxe is absolutely fantastic on this line.
Skyx actually had the shatter up, and it was pretty denied by the fact that a lot of the members were on the high ground. Does find it onto G-Moon, gonna quickly smack him into the wall. JK took his eyes off the ball for just a second. That's gonna take the mech out of the situation, but Z7K does find the kill to Aerox in the background. Death 2000 picks the kill onto Tantalus. Some great tracking coming out from this guy. Blocks out the Earth Shatter though, but it's looking pretty bad in the favor of York right now. Death 2000 just coming in hot, but there are still members of Cambridge on the Z-Fox in the sky, still trying to dodge as much of the salvo as damage comes out. Aerox actually pops the Zenyatta ball. I think they're gonna go back in on this one. A little bit aggressive. Does go straight into the background here. Does try and find this kill onto JK Low. Going quite low here. Does have to apply Discord on top of him. Death Blossom comes out, picks up quite a few kills, and just secures on G-Moon as Paddy D in the background. Just jumps off the map. He don't want to be caring for anything about like that anytime soon.
Again, second burst. Sabers the first as they just drop every ultimate they can onto that point pretty much, and just completely decimate Underwatch, who were stalling out pretty hard. So they're gonna have to try and contest this last point. They're gonna have to rush on in here as they drop the beat.
Self-destruct on top side, won't find anyone, a little bit ill-placed there. G-Moon down on the bottom, won't find, actually get the kill onto him as he gets back into the mech again. But Erux and the side of Mokir are down in this fight, and it's just going to be a quick reset. Tenchilao gets sliced by the laser in the background here. Skax off the side of the map. They're going to reset on this. They're having a bit of a tough time. Skax does have the shadow now. Coming up on this next fight, Derf 2000 might deny it big style though with that Graviton coming in.
And JK Lol moving towards that shatter again. Definitely something to keep an eye out for. Has been pretty good on those generally, other than the one which went straight into Skyx's shield. Skyx definitely the more patient of the two, as we see this Cambridge side starting to take a different route.
So they're going to go around this right side, do take the high ground immediately, so already at an advantage versus the side of York at the moment. Quickly the Discord goes straight onto JK Law. They do not want him in this fight any longer. Understand that he probably has the shatter down. Will find Z7K in the background and quickly picks him up with a salvo of rockets there. The rest of the team taking a lot of heavy damage. G-Moon on the backside. Skyx going for the peel but won't quite get him. Both supports are down on Cambridge side. They do have the numbers advantage here. Town Torino looking to get those kills, and Zarek is probably going to fall quite quickly afterwards. Waiting for these respawns. Z7K, you've got to know that he has the Deadeye with the JK Lol on the shadow, but doesn't look like they're actually going to contest this and let this one roll on it.
They really don't have the time, to be honest. They need to start getting prepared for this final push. JK Lol going to be setting up, looking for that good shatter, and as he said, with Z7K on that McCree, certainly something to keep an eye out for. Had some absolutely fantastic high noons on the on Dorado, so terrifying to think what he might achieve with a good shatter from JK Lol.
So they really want to finish this in overtime so that York can actually get this second attempt and hopefully go for the win. As they're retreating though, Earth Shatter, Town Neutrino pops the defensive Death Boss and doesn't quite find anything. JK Lol falls pretty quickly and the Deadeye goes down but won't find anyone either. Tries to get inside that little room, won't quite pick up the kill onto G-Moon's mech, but Skyx in a good position to take his mech out of the equation at this point. Z7K getting a little bit too close for comfort there and will fall. G-Moon just hiding around the back there, and Skyx is quite happy to play hide and seek with him, and he finds him in the back.
That was really unfortunate for Underwatch. Just, it seemed like JK Lol was a little bit on a different page from the rest of the team and did charge right on in far too ham. As we see Z7K now looking for this flank on Tracer, something to keep an eye out for. Has been impressive on everything they've played. And Erux, you're under a lot of threat, mate.
Yeah, so there is quite a big opportunity for self-destruct in this situation. Drops on the side of Skyx, gets out of the way just in time. Tal Torino does find his Paddy D. That's a huge amount of healing loss. If they can find the kill onto Zarek, it's going to be huge here. JK Lol, Discord on top of him. Going to find him next. The shield actually not blocking anything from a hammer because that's going to go straight through. Z-Fox actually finds the kill into G-Moon, pulling out the little blaster on from the sidearm. They might just be able to push this in with time to spare. Fade going to be ready though from the side of his Paddy D to stall this one out. Zarek gets on it next using the speed boost, but both of them fall simultaneously as Tal Torino guns them down. Self-destruct comes out. Will they be able to push this in? They get it with 1 minute remaining. 3 minutes 12 of the clock for York. This is going to be looking interesting here.
Certainly will. Brilliant play coming out from the side of Cambridge, managing to push it through after pretty devastating first series of pushes, but then they started to get the ball rolling, and we did see a couple of road bumps on the way from York, but in general, Cambridge with some really good teamwork and actually managing to land some fantastic ultimates.
Yeah, some great ultimates towards the end there. Skyx got a little bit wise to G-Moon throwing those self-destructs. Did a good job of keeping them out. And the rest of his team actually got pretty scarce. And instead of hiding in chokes where easily we could see JK Lol move in, use the hammer to take them out of the picture, they would go all over the place, hide in their burrows where they will. It made it a lot easier for them to push through because once self-destruct was out, they could focus on getting on that point.
Attackers incoming.
Certainly could. Town Neutrino hovering the Sombra, and the same from JK Lol. I don't expect to see it from maybe. Well, okay, they're swapping up players, no longer having JK Lol on that tank. I think we saw a lot of that from this team, a lot of swapping in terms of roles, as we said prior, a large amount of flexibility. Cambridge, however, not going to run the Sombra, playing with my heartstrings. It is going to be just JK Lol, and I'm excited to see how it's going to work here, especially since Erux is running this Lucio, and that's going to be something they have to highlight. But they're also going to have to deal with this Bastard.
No Arista to pull him off the payload either here.
Yeah, and no Hog, most key for Z7K. Perhaps not expecting something along these lines, but certainly do have to be aware of it because teams have been running it more and more.
Lovely denial coming out from Skyx. Like, Hack came onto him, immediately turned. We do see Derf 2000 lurking here, waiting to pounce onto the payload. Both of them go down at the same time. G-Moon will get onto it, but immediately pulled off by Mokia here. Zayfox will be taking the brunt of this Discord as he tries to escape the fight, but Z7K finds a nice Helix rocket onto Tantalao, and they'll be forced to back off here now.
Yeah, you're not the only one, Cambridge, with the element of surprise. as Z7K does catch him out with a really nice Helix Rocket, and JK Law with a good follow-up hack onto these players. Really gonna put Cambridge against the pressure of time, as they do have JK Law in that background, and they do need to be careful. Neutrino trying to move on forward and set his team up for this final push.
Yeah, Z7K, a key target here. Need to get him out of the way. Tantalao tries to go in from it. Will immediately get picked off here. G-Moon out of mech. Not many people able to contest Z7K on the high ground anymore. Though Mokia going to try look for that nice hook, but won't quite finds it though. Just as saying he won't be able to get it, walks straight up there and pulls him off of his high horse and onto the ground where he belongs. And JK Lol is just going to be sticking on this top ground here, waiting to jump back in.
And Neutrino does already almost have this ultimate on the Zarya. They look like they might just take this. They're going to give up, and they're going to move towards this second point. Now with perhaps renewed vigor, as they do have this hack. They do have perhaps some follow-up damage. Almost got ult from pretty much everyone. So looking for the big six are York.
Yeah, so they just did not have the members to contest that point there. JK Lil had the EMP, but they really want to save this for the overtime because they want to be able to push them off the point, and EMP is such a great way to clip the wings of the side of Cambridge.
And, you know, Cambridge have been super impressive so far with these layering ultimates, but that hack is going to put them in a really awful position because they can't use their beloved ultimates. However, a really nice shield.
It's
really nice grab.
Comes straight in with the Transcendence to keep him up. The beat is keeping many of this team alive. Rejuvenation coming out from Z-Fox on the Coalescence. Death 2000 taking a lot of the brunt of damage. Still has Primal Rage to stay on this point. And Tentalao using this last minute blade to try and keep them on it and stay alive, but gets hacked mid-air, and that's going to end this push right here. They've got 3 minutes to defend here, Rook. It's not a high task, and it's not tall order, but we'll see if they can pull it off.
Certainly can, especially if they perhaps find some sort of chink in York's armor. Not quite sure what it would be, but really abuse that on this first point and hold them at Big Earls. Because if you've got the high ground, it's definitely a good place to hold from. So if they hold this first initial corner, you can definitely get a lot of the work done. As Tantalao perhaps looking towards this Junkrat, and it certainly can work on this point. So excited to see if they will be bringing that out. Tantalao also looking at that Tracer. We never know. Maybe in Orisa, that is certainly a good pick. But JK Law hovering that Bara.
Yeah, so Tantalao here is going to pick up onto the Tracer, so possibly going for these quick kills in the backline. Being able to clip the hamstrings of the side of York is probably really important here because they don't want to be able to push it too far. They ideally want to hold on this first corner. It gives them the opportunity to hold it for a little bit longer. Once it starts getting around the second point, it becomes a lot harder because it gives access to the attacking team, the Mega inside gas station, and it becomes a little bit fight on that. So you want to remain control on that, to remain control on the situation entirely, really.
And Z7K back on this road hold, looking for comfort in this trying time. They do check. They don't want to get caught off guard by some sort of cheese bastion sitting in the trains. He's not going to be there.
Yeah, so they're playing a little bit further back now. Skyax trying to find the kill onto JK Lol in the skies. It's Paddy D taking a little bit of poke damage. Immediately Skyax gets the shield back down again, taking advantage of the environment, but Tantalao does find the kill onto its Paddy D. They continue to let the push happen though. Mukia is actually going to go and try find this hold on the point. Derf 2000 doing some damage to Skyax. Fortify going to keep him up for a little while longer. Z7K getting in the mix though now, stirring it around with that shotgun. Looking for the kill, finds it onto Skyax now. So it's going to be looking a bit easier. Mokia, the only 1 point. The lone soldier versus JK Lol in the skies, tries to pull someone in, but it's Tentalao's job now. Mokia all by himself, the poor guy.
Yeah, really unfortunate. Tanishino at least going to take out Durf, but swiftly returned as JK Lol on this Farah has been pretty terrifying.
It's going to be much easier for Cambridge, York, sorry, if they can manage to push it through without contest. Because they've got so much time on their hands, they don't have to worry about overtime, so they can continue to just die on point. And if they get a few picks, send Cambridge back to spawns, it means they can regroup pretty fast and continue to push this down Street's way.
Certainly do. Z7K building up that ultimate, but we see 2 ultimates, almost 3/4 coming out from the side of Cambridge. Something to keep an eye out for, especially that tire, which could do so much work here if it can find its mark.
they're just going to sit back. Z7K is going to take that one to the face, take a breather, get it back up again. The Riptide not going to do too much. Town-a-Trino bringing up the slack now, though. Does find D-Mac on the G-Moon. Immediately, Tentalao finds the follow-up with a concussion mine onto him. Z7K in the front line doesn't care too much. He's just going to go down. But look how close they're getting now. 1 minute 16 remaining. It's Paddy D with the Transcendence. Got Z7K with the whole hog to push him off it. And Dev 2000 with the Primal Rage as well. This is going to be looking difficult for this side when they've only got Supercharger and whole hog to deal with.
Certainly do. Mokia with this whole hog looking for a good flank, trying to keep them back. But a nice hook coming out from Z7K is going to shut that down. And that could be huge with G-Moon setting up with that bomb.
Sky is quickly seeing where it's coming from, readjust the shield. Z-Fox finds the res onto Mokia. Supercharger goes down. That's a lot of damage. You need to get out of the way pretty soon. Here we go. They go down, but they're going to push onto it. It's a C9. Don't quite get far enough. And the Orisa was the only one holding on to it. And as soon as she went down, it just creeped its way on there.
The tournament favorites do win their first match in the semi-finals. Pretty exciting so far. We've had some close matches, and Durf on this Winston is fantastic. There's someone to keep an eye out for. They are very impressive, and with this Primal Rage, they often do a lot of work. Going to be moving to map 2 now, pretty promptly, hopefully. Not quite so sure, but if we're going to have some sort of connection issues, but hopefully not. We have actually had a player disconnect, so maybe looks like it. We will need a couple of minutes. So hopefully you'll give us that patience. We will just be talking about perhaps what's going on for a little bit at least. Certainly some brilliant plays coming up from both sides. Cambridge, yet again, as we've highlighted multiple times. Brilliant ultimate usage, great teamwork, but on an individual level, perhaps not quite matching up to what we see come out from Underwatch. Underwatch have such fantastic players in pretty much every role. I cannot think of a player who I would not go, wow, they sure are one of the top maybe 10, 15 players in NUEL in their role. And as a result, they just look so good pretty much the entire time. And Z7K, I would go as far to say he is one of the most flexible and one of the best players in NUEL.
I'd just like to point out that Zarik got a card that last game, which was 6 sound barriers casted and 36 sound barriers provided, which is, if we do the quick maths, 2 plus 2 is 4. If we do the quick maths, that means that every single sound barrier that he provided, it was a 6-man sound barrier. So the careful planning of every fight to be able to make sure everyone is in LOS, line of sight, for the sound barrier to provide to them, that's insane. That or the communication for the team. Okay, let's group up. Zarik's going to sound barrier, and then we're going to go in. It blows me away, to be honest.
Certainly does. Zarik has been fantastic, and pretty much anything I've been playing with this Lucio of theirs is a treat to see, to be fair. It is fantastic, really great understanding of when to go back and when to go forward, when you need to chase and when you have to really fall back. And that is one of the greatest assets that Underwatch also have. They really understand the flow of the game when they need to fall back. And as a result, they cut their losses very sensibly and don't lose too much, whereas we see Cambridge getting staggered, as highlighted in the last... in comparison to what was happening last time, where we saw Cambridge being the ones who were often getting the staggers, it's now them being the ones who are more staggered. It's Underwatch oftentimes who are either slowing out the fight, stalling out the fight, or perhaps finding those light picks.
Yeah, York Underwatch, like you were saying earlier, I just want to bring it back. They have such great discipline. The way that they understand when a fight is going south and bring it back, that's a lot of times which defines the difference between like a high tier team and probably like a 3.7, 3.8k team. Just being able to call fights immediately, the entire team going, okay, we trust that decision, let's get out of here, let's move back, let's not provide any more ult charge to them, and let's really take a look at our ult economy and then work off of that. Like, that's insanely important. Cambridge, they do it, but not as disciplined as York do. So what I'd really like to see in Volskaya, where defender's advantage is so imperative, I'd like to see these teams be a little bit more disciplined and York just continue being the regimented soldiers that they are at the moment.
Yeah, they certainly are regimented soldiers. They have been firing at will, to be fair, onto the Cambridge side. often finding really nice picks. And Durf is someone I'd like. We would oftentimes start that game talking about Z7K, but Durf playing both the off tank and the main tank role, as we've seen actually from a couple of players, absolutely fantastic, especially on that Winston. Great ultimate usage, really nice understanding and 3D vision of what's happening in the fight. Oftentimes finding that right target. Really not quite sure who's the caller on Underwatch, but definitely kudos to them as well, because the team is having really good target calling.
Yeah, Dev 2000. Haven't talked about him too much in these games so far. However, yeah, you are completely correct there. We see him in fights. He remains very much central to the team. The shields that he gives to Zarya and the way he's able to generate ult charge, generate charge for himself. He's an important player on the team for sure. But it feels like he's their solid member. He doesn't make too many mistakes, and he makes the correct plays with the graviton.
Mm-hmm. Certainly is true, and great tracking as well. Oftentimes on the Zarya, just constantly laser focused on those players and managing to chew through many a tank from the side of Cambridge.
Yeah, indeed.
Another player I'd really like to highlight is Mokir. Absolutely fantastic diva. Them really nice bombs. Oftentimes to set up pushes from Cambridge. Oftentimes I'm not super psyched for engaging diva ultimates, but certainly making it a very impressive manner of using it and giving so much space over to his team and really setting them up to take control of the point. Oftentimes where Underwatch are holding it very well.
Yeah, so it's both teams. They're insanely good. I think York, they have that little edge with the shot calling, and it does feel like Cambridge, the shot calling from the last game, which was so strong and in cohesion, it seems to be lost a little bit this game on Route 66. So maybe they're a little bit nervous about playing York, who are one of the top teams in the NUEL League. But yeah, so we'll see what happens in this next match in Volskaya. Whilst we're waiting for this DC, though, we're just going to jump to a quick break. So we'll see you in a few.
Hello and welcome back. We had a very short break there, but we hopefully should be getting right back into this game on Volskaya Industries between Cambridge and York. So we're entering the game now. We did have a little bit of a DC problem, but now we are all sorted and we're going to be moving on in here.
Traveling to Volskaya in
Yeah, so this is one of these maps where if you can like pull off the transitional comp into the second game, into the second part of the map, that's where things start to get very snowbally. And you can, it's like it's one or the other, isn't it? Really, a lot of the times you either see a push that ends in 6 minutes 30 remaining on one side, or a push that ends on one take and 0 seconds remaining. It really depends. We'll have to see how each team approaches this, because ultimates are so important in these closed spaces.
We unfortunately did just have a little bit of a miscommunication, but we'll be continuing on. That's why you see the pause probably up on your screen. But yeah, it is a very oh, okay, pause isn't on your screen. My bad. But we will be taking a little bit longer to get into game, unfortunately. We are going to be having, again, as you said, this 2CP defense is so important here. And, you know, what out of all the defending things, what is unique to Volskaya defense that you'd like to highlight, Mike?
I think, well, Volskaya defense, it depends how you want to play it. So you can either play it at the front and be very aggressive as a defending team, or you can play it towards the back and have like a free man. A lot of the times we see in Overwatch League or top tier plays, we see a 4-2 dive. So essentially how it works is you'll see 4 members of one team dive onto the back line of the 2, and then you'll see 4 members of the other team dive onto the back line of the other team, and it's kind of like a little bit of a schoolyard fight with the 2 kids slapping at each other. Nothing really much happens. So what's really going to depend, what's the key thing is how well these tanks can peel for each other's backline. I think D.Va's going to be a really important pick, especially on this map, and take this first point slow.
And definitely interesting to see. I think we're seeing some joke hovers here, but perhaps seeing Tantalau on this Junkrat definitely going to be useful against these tanks that was highlighted. They are he does do a lot of damage. We've seen brilliant ult generation, I think, come out from specifically Tantalau, but in general from Junkrats in this tournament, and in many tournaments, to be fair, it just does so much damage so quickly, and against so much health, and how open it generally is, you just generate so much health so quickly, basically.
Yeah, I'm a bit... I think that this comp is good, coming out on the defensive side. They have this free man, Tantalau, Taunatrino, and Urux on this top ground, and they're going to stick up here, put down the pain on the point, and as they come onto it, and then you have Zfox, Sky, Axe, and Mocket who are going to be the diving targets. So they're going to dive onto the back line, but hopefully they can also understand when it's time to come back to the team and defense matrix either the soldier or the Junkrat. We can quickly see this fight beginning. SkyX is going to stay pretty well, and they've primed themselves up on these high grounds, but they're quickly jumping into the fight, giving it up almost immediately, which seems a little bit strange as Mocket immediately gets demate. JK Low has the disc on him and trying to get out LOS to stick off it, gets out of it just in time. Z7K is going to pick up the disco quite happily. He has a lot of health to deal with. SkyX going to quickly take him down, but almost immediately again taken out. They're just brawling on the point here. See, the problem with this is that there just wasn't enough counter dive. As they just walked onto point, it's very difficult to get them off it.
It was basically, they were doing some damage from the high ground, but they couldn't physically stop this York side from actually just walking onto the point, putting a shield up and going, "Hey soldier, what are you going to do about this?"
Yeah, exactly. They've not really had much time to switch off either. G-Moon is D-Mech though, so they're going to wait a little while before they get back with that. Use that Bunny Blaster to get it back up into the mech. It does have it now, and we'll see 74%. So Isfadi probably going to engage with the Coalescence on this fight, and it's going to be up to Zarik to use it defensively. Immediately will eat the Riptide. That's actually a pretty good play from G-Moon, instead of taking a lot of his team down. However, I don't think they're going to use too many ults on this, and they're just going to back out.
Yeah, nice try push. Does force out SkyX's ultimate here. And is going to give an opportunity for them, especially on this next push from the side of York, to push on in here with perhaps this deep drop, or perhaps the shatter coming up from JK Lord to start the fight alongside something like that D.Va bomb, which can do a lot of damage.
It's funny, he did actually use Coalescence in that last fight though, so a bit of a waste there, but he's going to get that Coalescence back pretty fast. There's so much healing coming out from Moira at the moment, and there's so much poke from the side of Cambridge as well. She's going to have a lot to heal up pretty quickly, but you don't want to waste that left click too much because they want to get point. But immediately using that speed boost to get onto it, JK Lol acquires the projected barrier. Doesn't really block too much though. He's going to quick smacking around. Z-Fox in the sky with Valkyrie now, keeping his team alive. Double ulti though, a little bit questionable. Eric's is going to go down just the same time as Valkyrie leaves the point. 2 self-structs in the sky, finds Mokir, and Zarik will fall as well as, but they're staying on the point. Z7K finds the kill to Eric. Turf 2000 actually finds the Riptide as it comes down, but Skyax, Primal Rage, he's angry about them being on this point, finds 2! Will he find the other as he goes for Durfa? He's just going to jump straight off the map there.
Yeah, that wasn't a great fight from the side of York. They can't seem to really find a footing on the second point as some really nice defense, good structured play coming out from Cambridge, and alongside this Junkrat, which has been so good from Tantalao, is Skyax's Winston, which on this defense is like fantastic, jumping around everywhere, diving the backline, finding these players, and really managing to find these later on.
Neutrino has switched up onto the Reaper in that fight, caught his ult charge pretty quickly. JK Law been blasted up onto the top right. Neutrino, that's not what he wanted to see coming into his little room there. Riptide once again comes out looking for the supports here. We'll just find JK Law, but that's a shield down, and G-Moon will immediately be demeched once again, and Neutrino's just going to put those shotguns in his mouth and take him out. Neutrino, the guy's been pushed all over the place. JK Law coming up in his face, shotguns for him there, and then quickly Z7K pulls him in and says, come on man, shoot me.
And he did oblige. Does manage to take him out here as another really nice hold coming out from Cambridge, and they have this high ground, and they're not really being contested for it. Well, not that there really is any way for Underwatch to do it. They might want to swap up off of this quad time because it's not working out super well for them.
Eric's remaining in a good position back here. Does stay on the high ground, is in a good place to see a lot of the targets and apply the Discord freely. So that's been really useful in denying this actual champ, but he's going to circle around here and prevent himself from taking too much damage, and Tentalau's in a good position to put down some damage with the nades. This AoE damage inside this small room is going to be phenomenal, but not before the team gets in. So much healing coming out from this team. This actual Riptide comes out, but the Neutrino once again, the Death Blossom into G-Moon with the Salter Truck that picks up a triple kill. That's going to give him a little bit of opportunity here. A lot of members are down for this team. It's just Durf 2000. Z7K taking a huge amount of damage here. Coalescence trying to keep the rest of his team up, but Durf 2000 not too much energy. Probably going to fall to this free-man pincer. Eric, I don't know what that's all about, but he brings in the light show anyway to celebrate this victory.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, there was a brilliant series of plays coming out from Cambridge there. Really nice ultimate from the side of Neutrino on that Reaper, but really the thing which stopped that from being an absolute disaster was the fact that we had the Mokir there just eat up the Graviton Surge that came out from the side of so definitely something they need to work, perhaps play around more. They're not playing around this Diva quite enough, and as a result, Cambridge have the advantage here, and they're really looking to push it as far as they can go.
Yeah, York's ult economy looking a little bit low now. Tentalao switches onto the Pharah, sees that there's another Pharah in the air. Can't quite stay on the Junkrat anymore. Skyax having a little bit of a Tesla battle with the 2000, who made Tesla first kind of thing. Self-Destruct comes up in the air, looking for the kill onto JK Law with the Sound Barrier. He just saves him, but Derp 2000 will fall prey to that. He's just sticking on this sideline right now. Skyax in the way though, takes a lot of the body shots, continues to find these direct hits onto him as he just bounces around. And G-Moon, he's just gonna have to jump off here. They won't even give it. Oh, they granted him the death though. Finally, they don't want to lift you up on too much ult charge.
And Cambridge has been absolutely on fire. Neutrino on this Tracer was just almost, not quite, but almost one clipping all of those backline players and all those supports specifically. So really set up for Skyax on this Winston to just absolutely run free and just finish them all off.
York trying to find those answers here with the quick switches off. Z7K on the Widow, Zreek on the Mercy, and Paddy D. They're looking for a bit more mobile comp right now with Zreek in the Z7K in the background. Does find a kill onto Tental, so this is going to give a little bit of freedom for them to push in now. It's Paddy D on the point. Zreek healing up G-Moon, but Derf 2000's in the back. It's Paddy D will find the boot onto Tantarino. Quickly reses him back up. JK Law finds a kill onto C-Fox as he's resing Tantarino, but he will fall prey to the barrage anyway, and Zreek's just going to res his friend back up. Derf 2000 remaining on point once again. Aerox just have the Transcenders, may be able to stall this one out here. Skyx falling down though. Wait till he gets back to the point. This is smart. Knows he has enough time to stay on this for a little bit longer. Tental out now on the Genji, trying to find his kill onto G-Moon, but Boosters out, looking for the more important target onto Aerox. Has the Discord up on top of him. Quickly, Winston shield goes down. Keep Aerox alive, but a nice primal rage will take him out of the fight. Z7K is just in the background, still finding those headshots all over the place, and Tental out will fall. Muck here has the self-trip come out, and they will just take this one.
Yeah, certainly just about managing to take it from Underwatch. Really struggling on the York side against Cambridge. Cambridge with a really nice series of defenses and looking pretty good on the Solskjaer 2 CP map. So very excited to see how they form on this offense. So really looking for them to just basically repeat the impressive performance they've done so far on this defense.
Took them a little bit of time there, Rook, in the end to get down to that second point. 32 seconds still on the clock, so possibly if Cambridge can do this one a little bit quicker, they might have a chance here.
I think they certainly do. I think Cambridge have been impressive so far. They weren't completely shut out on that first map, and with a nice defense like that, it's certainly looking in their favor.
Yeah, they have the mindset to do this. They have the planning available. Sometimes the execution's a little bit sloppy, but from so far, we know that they know what needs to be done. It's just a case of executing in the end, where York just seems a little bit more mechanically prepared to take these fights and pull them in their favor when it comes down to it. So hopefully what we're going to see here from the side of Cambridge is a bit more of a stable comp. Take it a little bit slower. They don't have to have this dive here because they have the planning around it. So like I said, they can take this point a little bit slower.
Certainly can. We're going to have a quick pause come through, but interesting to see something like the Sombra come out here on this defense. Certainly, historically, a very quick map. A very quick first point, but also a very good point specifically for the Sombra. Can use that first, the mega health pack underneath the big building on the left of the map to great effect. It can oftentimes generate ult very quickly, but certainly after the changes, not such a strong map, but certainly a stronger character as a whole. So definitely something you can still work around.
Yeah, I don't know about this comp. So we have Z7K on the Widow, and we have JK Lol on the Sombra. Now, ideally, what you want to do with a Sombra is fight up front when you first come in, because you want to be able to get the ult advantage in your favor, so when the EMP comes out, you can start cycling ultimates out and taking down the side of Cambridge as they come into point. With Z7K on the Widow, though, they're playing a bit of a slower, far back playstyle, which is not going to give JK Lol much time to get his EMP up, and he's more going to be relying on his utility with the hack and the translocator. And if they can take him out early, this probably will sway in the favor of Cambridge.
Well then,
Attackers
just about going to get back in.
30 seconds.
Interesting to see that the defense is going to be relatively far in the middle. Something very interesting to see is that we're going to be having a very far pushed up defense, and we're going to be having a pretty nice. Sorry, I need to sort out something. My Overwatch is pretty bugged out. Just take a second blank.
Okie dokie, so we're going to be jumping into this map pretty soon. So Sky's coming out. They're not going to push too far up, so it's like I said, they're going to be jumping back here. Zreek does have the damage boost on, looking for a quick kill. JK Lol in the background, going to take out Skyx's shield pretty quickly, so there's no more of that shield on the point to hold up whilst his team does the work. But they're going to get onto the point still pretty quickly indeed. Taunatrino there in the front. Skyx gets his shield back finally, but he's a little bit happy about that. JK Lol going to go for it again. No, you cheeky man in the background. Skayax taking the shield down once again, and Zreek stays on point. Goes down here. G-Moon trying to put down a salvo of rockets into the front, but they're staying pretty clumped up here. Give away one tick already. Z7K is doing his best. JK Lil finds his Skayax in the end. I mean, he's been a bit of a nuisance at the start, but now he's actually doing the killing. But it looks like Town of Trina's going to back off here, and they finally do have this EMP. So a sloppy actual offensive coming out from the side of Cambridge, and now things are going to be looking very difficult for the side of Cambridge now indeed. So what we really want to see here now is we want to see this team make a very strong push on. If they can force out the EMP, reset, and then go back in again, that's when things are going to get a little bit easier.
And certainly, when they have that Sombra, it certainly can lead to a pretty smooth reset of so it's definitely something to watch out for.
EMP does go down here. Tentalao Hack not able to use a Breather. This is the perfect time to take him out. Z7K pops the actual shots into him, takes him out of this fight here. Mokia finding the kill onto G-Moon's mech, but that's about it. JK Low comes in to the action and stays out of this pretty well. So JK Low just stops. C7K gonna reposition. G-Moon gets res back into mech once again. So,
yeah,
JK Lol just gonna stay here, go up front, try and find a little bit more ult charges on 42% here. So he is actually looking for Zreek to stay in the front line. And second.
hopefully we get you back in the game. Sorry, I just disconnected for a second there. Certainly, sorry, it's blank.
Z7K finding a lot of kills here. JK Law takes down Z-Fox in the background. This is looking pretty horrendous for Cambridge. Not finding any picks whatsoever. Tentalao forced to back out. Poor Mock here, stuck between a rock and a hard place as he is taken down.
Yeah, no, and Mock does still have that ultimate for the next push, but it's not looking good for Cambridge. Just getting completely shut out. Don't even have a single tick from the look of it. Will that be ticking back? Doesn't look like it's the first tick. Not quite sure though. From the way it looks on that screen, but they do now have at least 4 ultimates built up. They do have the ultimate advantage. Could be an opportunity for them. Looks like it is actually first tick, but with this hack coming out from JK Lol, they could get shut down if Underwatch play around this properly, because G-Moon can find these really nice bombs in this situation if you do find that big EMP to set up the entire fight.
Yeah, so they're jumping in again. It does found Tantrina on the point, but a huge EMP in the background here will take a lot of the team into that 6-second hack. Self-destruct on point, not quite finding anyone as Aerox just squeezes himself around the corner, puts himself into a little fall there, and actually managed to just stay out of it. They might just be able to take this here. Def 2000 getting pushed off the corner will fall shortly afterwards. That was a strong fight coming out from it. Ispadid wasn't able to use Transcendence in time, and I think that's what actually made them able to take it.
Yeah, and now we've got still the ultimate advantage. Sorry, well, we've got the ultimate advantage back in the hands of York, but they are now gonna have to hold this last point, and they haven't got the momentum anymore, to be honest. Underwatch are really gonna have to pull it out of the bag to take this.
Yeah, so Seltzer coming out here quite high in the sky, doesn't find anyone though as Sky's shield goes down. G-Moon D-Mech here, will try and pick him up. Does find the D-Mech though, sorry, I forgot to see that. And Skyx actually quickly finds the next kill onto JK Lol. Z-Fox in the background, not quite able to get into the fight. Here comes Paddy's Transcendence, keeping a lot of his team alive. Zreek is the important member to keep up in this fight though, so he can continue to heal his members, using that Guardian Angel extremely well to stay around. Doomfist actually comes out from G-Moon, wants to push this team off the point. Mock here taking a lot of damage, but it's Skyax who's the one you need to be looking at. But the rest of the team slowly fall into Z7K as he picks up the rest of these kills.
Some brilliant Doomfist play coming out from G-Moon, proving it's not only the players of Swansea who can actually run that. He can do it too, and you know, it's looking fantastic from him as he moves back onto the Diva. But certainly an interesting stall choice to come out from that.
Yeah, exactly. But Zreek does have Valkyrie here, and that's about it for the side of this team. So now Trina does have the Graviton, so if he can pick Zreek up inside of it, that could be game.
Yeah, and JK Lol doesn't quite have the EMP, but still gonna look on his backline. Has to pick one of those supports. Or gonna get caught out by a brilliant ultimate from Tal Neutrino, but not enough. Well, no, Tantalao finding loads of damage, and that might be a big opportunity for them to actually take this pretty early because they have control of the point, and Duff is gonna get shooed right on through.
Ballsy res coming out from the side of Zarik, and he is punished for it. They might just have to take this for a little bit more time than York here. Z7K definitely trying to stay on point. Translate comes down, so they know exactly where Sombra's going to be, but maybe they're focused a little bit too much. Z7K goes down here, getting a hook of his own going to his face, and they're staying on the point relatively easily. Zarik comes on now. Aerux desperately trying to stay alive, maybe in a bit of a bad position. Transcenders comes on point. Zayax is just trying to push him out of the way here so the rest of his team can do damage. G-Moon on the point still, popping out the damage. Self-Truck comes up. Will it find anyone? Does find JK Lol before he can get out of it. And the Primal Rage will find its D, so no more Discord. This is going to make things a little bit easier as G-Moon falls to a quick hook to the face there. He is put on scales. And Z7K stuck in the corner. And the rest of the team is just going to remain on point.
Yeah, this is looking super good for Cambridge. They're looking to actually take the saber. Again, brilliant stall coming out from the side of York, trying to at least get it towards. Doesn't look like they're really going to achieve too much, but at least get themselves that little bit of extra time to work with. But they do just about not get back into the point, and they're going to lose out there as it's 47 more seconds for Cambridge as they move on to the third and fourth rounds.
Switching sides.
This is quite interesting indeed. I am curious as to what kind of offensive picks are going to come out on this next couple of rounds here, because they really need this quick push, and so far a lot of the pushes that have been made on the first point have been incredibly slow. So are they going to flank through the left side? Are they going to flank through the right side? We'll just have to see.
And Z7K back on this Widow, certainly something we've seen it before. It has found picks, but it's been a little bit inconsistent, which is definitely the key word for it. If it works out, it's going to look absolutely disgusting, and I think York will win this round and win this game map and take it through to the finals, as this is one of the two semi-finals we're going to be casting today. Hopefully not having any more issues with that. But if they do manage to make this Widow work, I think it's going to just completely wipe the floor with Cambridge, and they won't really know what hit them.
Yep, but also in the case of if C7K can't quite find the picks in the beginning, a lot of the times you stay on Widow for a little bit longer than you might think you need to be. So they could possibly drop down by a good 50 seconds here, and then getting at the point with Z7K missing an ultimate is going to be difficult. So what they want to do here is just avoid those Widow shots.
And if they can do that, they are in good positions to do so. So looking good, at least at the start for this team, as they do run JK Lol on this far. So it could be an opportunity for them, but we're actually seeing them swap off this comp that they're running with a large number of tanks, and Tal Neutrino is on this Tracer, which is something very exciting.
Really great plays coming out from the side of Cambridge right now. Staying out of line of sight of Z7K, not giving him the advantage. Amoki is on him, but will fall to his icy doom in the waters there before Tantalao can pick up the kill on the Z7K, but a little too late. JK Lol finding a lot of picks now. Aerux is next to fall, and Tantalao, I think he actually shot a rocket into the side of the wall and is going to fall because of it. And this is going to be going over to York in pretty short order. They get 38 seconds next to this point. Ooh, could be spicy if they get the 4.
And as I said, well, it wasn't necessarily Z7K really doing all the work there. It was actually just a brilliant play coming from JK Lol. Really nice boot, really nice follow-up rockets, and in general, just brilliant play coming out from the tanks as well.
Rocket on the point, jumps in with boosters, gonna go for the backline here, doesn't have too much help and will immediately get desuited and punished because of it. Helix Rocket goes in from G-Moon's mech is down there also. Tantalao getting back onto the point, but has used dash, and immediately it will be Durf 2000 jumping on top of him. Surprisingly, they will hold this one. It looked pretty sloppy at the beginning, but a lot of the tanks remain alive, and Scax kind of followed up and carried them through this one. So they're actually going to take the first point. Got 1 minute 47 to get 1 and a tick, or this one goes over to a draw.
Tal Neutrino, definitely a fantastic player, and is the one I'd really like to highlight in that fight. At the start of that, was in the backline and picked off that tree, the Mercy instantly, giving them an advantage in that fight. It was 5v6 before York even knew what was happening, as it just seemed to get completely torn apart. Tal Neutrino was on the backline, darting all around, finding loads of damage, and that completely shut them out on this last one.
So we're heading up to the final round. Will we see a miraculous push onto second point afterwards from Cambridge with a little more time that they have to spare? Or will we see this one just go over to York? Or possibly even a controversial draw coming out? All depends on these teams. Both teams very closely matched. Cambridge doing a great job to play around York's playstyle. It's hard to call, Rook. It's hard to call.
But if you had to call,
If I
who
had
would
to
your
call-
money be on? For at least this map.
Skyax on the Reinhardt. I like it. However, the rest of his team behind him, to switch over to the Winston now, but the rest of his team behind him, not quite following up as they should be. They don't jump on with him, and a lot of times they fall prey because they don't have the healing. So I'm going to pop this one over to York in favor of.
And JK Lol back on this Sombra, excited to see how that's going to work. So that could be what leads them to the victory, as they did hold up quite well, at least on the first time they were doing this.
So you see Skyax dodging around the corner here. Mock it a little bit uneasy, not sure whether to go in. Knows that Z7K has a damage boost on this top ground. Maybe needs to be a little bit more offensive. Quickly, G-Moon goes in, drops the shield on top of it so they can both get onto G-Moon, but Derp 2000 along with his Mercy drops down to stop them from damaging too much. G-Moon has the Discord on him, drops the D-suit. That's pretty big here. They might be able to get this. Do need to take G-Moon out of the equation or we can get anything back. C7K is Paddy D, still doing a lot of damage. G-Moon actually with the Bunny Blaster picks up the kill to Arux. They ignored him for a little bit too long. Helix Rocket from the top side will take out down Adreno here, and Zental out also falling to JK Law. This is quickly going in the favor of York here when things look so good for the side of Cambridge.
Yeah, and the resuit coming out for G-Moon was basically the point where that will turn around. When they didn't manage to get that pick and start snowballing on, when they had that one-man advantage, which they did have, it just all went south from there. Z7K was completely uncontested on that high ground, and as a result, so much work done alongside JK, who was just constantly unloading bullets into their back.
They have Mucker, they have Skyax, they have Sentinel. Why are they not contesting Z7K? They have all the utility they need to deal with him. They're not going up there. And the Helix Rocket coming out, the damage he's putting down with that assault rifle, it's purposely damaging. So it goes up. Skyax is the only one going into the correct position here, goes down because of it. Whilst Mokia tries too much to focus on JK Lol. He's just going to get out immediately anyway. Valkyrie goes down, Ballsy Res comes out in the background, won't find anyone. Those cojones aren't well placed at all. Cleaves through and will immediately fall. Just stares at the self-destruct as he drops to the floor, blade in hand.
Brilliant play coming out from the side of Underwatch. Really pivotal around JK Lol on that Sombra. Absolutely fantastic, and it's going to set them up to move on through to the finals. The clean 2-0 over Cambridge.
See G-Moon here, here's this miraculous self-destruct in disguise. Sees that there's not much shielding going on, drops the self-destruct, will go down. Cantorino's sicked in face, and I don't think he meant to get her all down to late Sentinel out in the background there, but gets them up anyway.
Definitely. A very close two matches that we've had, but unfortunately for the Cambridge side, York do clinch it out. And certainly looking strong heading into these finals that we're going to be having at NUEL Live. Definitely excited for how that's going to go, especially with York there. York are a very fun team to watch with such variety upon them and such skill in each members and really good teamwork. Leads to them being a wholeheartedly fun to watch team.
And we're going to switch over to a quick break here whilst those teams get back into action. We choose the next semi-finalist to stream.
you. I'm higher when I'm with you. So hold my hand, I'll take you through. I'm higher when I'm with you. You know I'm higher when I'm with you. I said I'm higher when I'm with you. You know I'm higher when I'm with you. Said I'm higher when I'm with you, with you. I'm higher for the baby. I'm higher. I'm higher. In our bubble, you and me, reaching places that we've never been. We make each other feel at ease. That's why you and me the greatest team. You know I'm higher when I'm with you. I said I'm higher when I'm with you. You know I'm higher when I'm with you. Said I'm higher when I'm with you, with you. I'm higher for the baby. I'm higher. I'm higher. I'm higher, higher with you. Higher with you. I'm higher, higher with you. I'm higher, I'm higher.
This fire in my head's got me on edge. I'm going out tonight. Faded on a thread, don't know what's next. I wanna feel alive. I kissed a stranger in a white dress. She put a crown on top of my head. Said every king needs a queen in his bed. I said, hey girl, I'd like to stay here for a while, just you and I. Far from the places we can't get away from. She said, hey boy, I like your style. I'll let you play me for a while. Play me till the sun rises. Play me like a violin. Here with you now, not coming down. Leave my insanity up here in the clouds. Look what we found, oxygen we can breathe. Let the madness slowly undress. Rip the mask off over our heads. We can dive down deeper instead. far from the places we can't get away from. She said, hey boy, I like your style. I'll let you play me for a while. Play me till the sun rises. Play me like a violin. Play me till the sun rises. Play me till your hands give in. Play me like a violin. Play me till the sun rises. Play me till you can't hide it. Play me like a violin. Play me till the sun rises. Play me till your hands give in. Play me like a violin. Play me till the sun rises. Play me till you can't hide it. Play me like a violin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We're in the final semi-final of today, and to be honest, of the tournament. We're going to be having Imperial College London versus Aberdeen. And, you know, I haven't personally seen much of Imperial before in terms of watching them play, but, you know, Aberdeen, definitely a very fun team to watch, especially when you get to see Yahaha playing.
Yeah, we do get to see her playing indeed. You can't see it right now, but we are in the lobby. They all have New York Excel badges, apart from Yaha, who does have the Florida Mayhem patch, which sums us up pretty well because he does cause a lot of mayhem on that Junkrat. So we'll be jumping against Imperial, and I like it, like Brooke says, we haven't seen much of Imperial before, so it'll be exciting to see what they bring out. I know Aberdeen is a very, very fun team to watch indeed. They like to flank a lot, so be careful of Yaha in your back lines because he's one of those flanking Junkrats which one-taps you, and you're not too happy about.
Generally getting one-tapped, not what you're going for when you're playing, well, pretty much anyone, especially when you're attacked. That would really suck. Luckily, it doesn't happen too much there, but definitely if you're one of these supports, you have to be careful about that because oftentimes you see some really brilliant shots, especially this high up in the bracket. It would be really unfortunate for players like Bebop to get one tap.
Dude, so we're looking at these teams right now. Let's have a quick look. So we are going to see Chlorine on a lot of this Reinhardt, assuming, because he likes to play that. So on these maps where footsie battles are important, probably going to see him pull out the Reinhardt. We've seen a lot of Reinhardt so far in the quarter and this just past semi-final that's just been. A lot of it's been down to who keeps the shield long enough up for the other one to get impatient and drop the Earth Shatter. So we'll see what happens. So we might not even see Reinhardt on the other team of Imperial, because I don't know if they run it too much. Reinhardt's not too much in the meta at the moment, just because being able to contest high ground is so important, especially even on maps like Oasis, popular maps where high ground can be acquired very quickly. Reinhardt has to make a very grueling walk upstairs or around corners, in which case a soldier just jumps down and just basically laughs at you as he runs away.
Yeah, he certainly does. I mean, something I'm very excited to see from Aberdeen in particular, is that they do have Devotion. If I remember something about Devotion, they were definitely playing some Ana, which I caught them playing, and it's something I find really exciting, watching a good Ana play. So if we can get any of that out of them, that'll be enough for me. I'm really excited to see that. We will be going to our final 3 maps are Hanamura, Watchpoint, Gibraltar, and Nepal. Not quite sure what Gibraltar being the last map. Going to still have some more picks coming through, and then we'll be able to tell you in which order it will be. Gibraltar, very exciting map. Definitely having a lot. Definitely has a lot of variety for these teams in terms of what you can run. You can run the Widow, you can run that Farah. It really depends. As often highlighted, as 3 distinct metas, depending on where you go. So definitely a very exciting map to be playing on.
Yep, we do actually get a DC coming in pretty quickly. I mean, this is something we've had for a couple of games. In the quarterfinals, we had a DC. Semifinals, one of the casters, we had a DC. And now we have a DC from this team. But he's going to come back really quickly. I like this guy. He doesn't mess around. Straight back into game, rejoin the lobby, bish, bash, bosh. Here we go. But yeah, so we're going to be going Hanamura, Nepal, Gibraltar, like Rook says. Hanamura, this first map. Very hard to defend. You do see a lot of these teams defending at the front, or you have anti-dive where they defend at the back. We might see an Ana, actually, Rook, because we might see this Ana Zenyatta combo at the left back of the point, of the first point on Hanamura, just defending each other. Because if you got the Orb of Harmony on the Ana, you got the Sleep Darts, you've got the Discord, you've got the Bite Grenades. It's very difficult to penetrate that kind of defense.
Especially if you do the Ana trick where you go back into spawn, change off of Ana, and reset your sleep dart, come back out, sleep the monkey standing in front of spawn, go back in, and constantly keep him slept. Which is just a feels bad, man. It happened to me once in ranked, and I just cannot forget it since. And please don't do that to another human being. It's really not very fair to them.
Not at all. I mean, I'll go to sleep when I want, not when you tell me to, Ana. I'll take my time when I take my naps. And
Not
if I want it in the afternoon,
today, Grandma.
Yeah, exactly. I'm leaving. I don't want none of your food. Get that mashed potato out of my face.
Oh no, I love my nan's mashed potato.
Oh no.
For the holidays, but more excited for such things as NUEL Live. NUEL Live is going to be coming up next weekend. Sorry, in a couple of weekends. Definitely, if you are around, head to that. Very exciting place to be, and we will get to see the finals. One of these teams versus York. So it will be some good matches definitely coming your way. Very excited for both of these teams as we see Aberdeen about getting ready to decide what picks they want to go, as we see Silver Husky running that Ana. And as you said, the Ana Zenyatta combo.
Yeah, so they're probably going to sit at the back over here. It's a bit strange having Zelko and TSG. So you have this more of a stick your foot in, sit down, and just shoot the enemy team as they come on Zelko. Pretty important with the biotic field, though. Use that to heal up the Zenyatta Cosmos here. And I think we're actually going to get the other team, which is TSG, Ronin, and Lude here. They're going to be our divers. So we have this free man combo. Of quite strong actually, and Anna does have these huge line of sights on Hanamura to hit the heals from afar. But yeah, we're gonna see this pretty heavy heal on the side of the offense.
We certainly will. And that heal can be pretty massive, especially with these main tanks. But they are going to be dived right on top of them. That Biotic Nade is going to do a lot of work. But still, we see Cosmos going down, but that's 2 for 1. That's good for the side of Imperial as they move on through. But we see both supports going down, and that is looking bad for them. Aberdeen players, but we see Sloom just about escaped. Quite going to be taught. Does actually take out TSG. Really nice play from them. Aberdeen try and hold on out, but IC9 coming back on again, trying to hold the point, but Zelko has to be careful. Bebop does take him out, and this is looking good for Aberdeen.
Yeah, so Aberdeen doing not too bad of a job here. ICL. You had the drop on him at the beginning. I mean, you got the barrier grenade off, people started falling. The peel was pretty good from the side of Ronin, and Zelkin just didn't drop the backfield in time. Once it went down, it was far too late, only healed Ronin up a little bit, and then the rest of the team were able to mosey on through, and with Bepop staying alive and Devotion sitting on the point, a lot of the healing just out-sustained them. So they're going to quickly jump back on point again, and immediately onto Zelko, a nice pulse bomb will remove him from the fight. Cosmos is taking fire here. Bepop is purple though, so she's going to take a lot of damage over here. Bebop will find the Coalescence kill onto Yaha in the background, but Lude is going to stay up. Drops the self-destruct. Bebop will go down, so they might just be able to hold here. But Aberdeen, such a great push already. It looks dangerous.
Yeah, great plays coming up from the Zelko and the gang to close out this defense, at least on this initial push. They were looking, well, Aberdeen were looking to try and just completely roll this fight and take control and get like 6.5 minutes on the board, but luckily for Imperial, they do manage to sort out this aggressive push coming out from them, and now it's only a small ultimate advantage in favor of Aberdeen, and not for very long as TSG does get that play. Devotion and Chlorine though going to pop it up to 4-2.
Yeah, so TSG, Silver Husky, they're going to be going for this Nano Blade coming up. If we get a sleep as well, that'd be more than perfect. So they're going to go straight onto the high ground. There goes the Nano Blade, immediately drops down, doesn't find too much. Backfield is up. Katsune will find the end of the blade, and it will pierce him as he goes down. Devotion and Katsune out of the fight now, so no speed boost to get that mobility up, and no sprint. So they're going to be forced off the point pretty quick. They actually forced that fight rather than just immediately retreating, which gave a lot of ult over the side of Aberdeen here. So Chlorine does have Final Rage, Sloom has the Self-Destruct, and Yaha does have the Dragon Blade. It's going to be up to Ronin and Zelko to get the Primary Stagger on point, and Zelko to find the good pull spot.
Silver Husky had a really nice sleep dart in the last fight where Yahaha dived right on top of them. Did manage to survive. Silver Husky really far back, misses the sleep dart. That's really unfortunate. Doesn't want to go back in, and Yahaha finding a blade. Does lose Devotion, unfortunately. This is actually looking really good for Imperial.
Yeah, Sloom runs over TSG here. Silver Husky finds the back grenade onto Yaha. He will fall there, so no need to get anti-healing onto him when you can just grenade him into the ground. And Lude picking up this triple kill, doing a great job before retreating out here. TSG looking at another Dragon Blade soon. Aberdeen. ICL actually. Aberdeen switching up the comp a little bit, switching Devotion onto Lucio and Bebop onto the Moira. Sloom will pick up Diva here as well.
And I think stopping with Aberdeen is pretty sensible. You can stop some of that, the Ana healing, some of the Zelko trying to burst people down, TSG trying to find those shurikens. It has so many uses, and they're going to dive right on in here trying to find a pick.
Yeah, TSG probably going to have to use the blade to counter out the actual attack advisor here. Doesn't quite make up the corner, but will slice, dash through, and he's done for. And this blade is doing a monumental amount of damage. Does fall eventually, but not before he can pick off 2 members of ICL.
Yeah, ICL looking really good on this defense. TSG looking like a monster, man. Absolutely fantastic on this Genji. Starting to try and turn this around.
Yep, Lude finds the pick onto Sloom as well towards the end, so they're going to have to wait this one out a little bit longer, waiting for Sloom to come back. Chlorine onto Reinhardt now. These switches are all over the place. I don't think they quite know how to actually combat this, but they have used ultimates already. Didn't quite work, so maybe it's the correct decision to switch up here. They have a couple of members on this right side waiting on the bridge to pounce on them as they come through here. Maybe it's not working. Maybe they need to come through main. Zelko finds the kill onto Katsune immediately, though, and he's going to give them the chance to push in. Finds Chlorine in the back, though, goes for the big charge, doesn't find anyone, and actually gets booped out of the way. That's going to be really important there. Self-destruct goes down. This could be really huge there. Does find the way around the wall. Will take out Chlorine's shield. They can do a little bit of damage onto him. Coalescence comes out, trying to find some damage onto the point, but they've already retreated. Ronin waiting there patiently. Doesn't let them get the tick, though. Jumps straight onto the point. Primal Rage is popped. Chlorine going lower there. Is purple. No more healing for him there. Sloom staying on point. Self-destruct goes down. There's no shield to deny that. Will it find anyone? No, it won't. Zelko finding the kill on the Yaha. This man has been all over the map at the moment. Katsune actually does drop Lude Zmek there, but Zelko still going, and he finds Katsune as well, and this is going to end the push pretty quickly.
Yeah, really great plays coming out from Imperial after it was a brilliant engage after a couple of picks coming out from Chlorine on that high ground, and they started to try and push it, and they at least got a tick out of it. So at least something on the board on this second point for the side of Aberdeen. Going to have to push a bit harder, though, to try and really hold and take over at the second point. But they're going to go for this high ground yet again.
Zelko already has the pulse bomb, won't find anyone with it though, but Silver Husky, TSG, Nanoblade coming out very shortly. Sloom takes the brunt of damage from these 4 members of ICL right now. They're going to jump around this corner, so Aberdeen continue to push in this point. They continue to go through this wall. It's not looking good for them. Yaha has the rip down now, looking for one of the key targets. Can't quite find anyone. Dragon Blade comes out, doesn't find anyone, get exploded immediately, and Cosmos is in a bit of a position. I can't quite dodge it! It drops round his head on top of the lockers. That's got to be feeling really bad, sent you straight back to bullying in high school. Self-destruct, man.
Yeah, really good play coming out from across the board, but Ronin really doing a good job at keeping Sloom out of the fight, completely destroyed them, and also was constantly shifting around, finding loads of damage on the high ground, drops down, stops anyone from really making a push on the low ground, and is constantly all over the place, and really being a constant threat on all fronts for Imperial as they try and hold on out here, plugging all the leaky holes of their defense.
So TSG, Silver Husky, the main targets to be going for, and the main players. And even when they taken down, it's still not enough. Great back grenade there will put all of them low, and it's just up to Zelko to be the janitor of Overwatch now, picking up everyone's left, right, and center. Will get caught by the blast there, but it doesn't really matter. Sloom is going to try and boost his way out there, and they're going to leave him to it, just drop him down. They do find the second tick, however, so that's a little bit something on the board for them. They coming up on the final fight now. No really ults in their pocket, whereas ICL looking pretty healthy.
Yeah, they do have almost 4. TSG a little bit far off, but he's going to at least stay alive, and that's all they really need to do with such an advantage on their part. Yahaha looking for this tire, perhaps. That could be the big opportunity, but Rodin, nano boosted. This is one for nano boost coming out, and Yahaha trying to find that tire, but it's going to get shut down, and there's not much that can happen.
Ooh, nice self-stroke there. Will get Bebop out of the action because he was just trapped in there. Katsune is staying on point. Cosmos actually surviving despite the salvo rockets plummeted in his way. So actually it goes down with the pulse bomb. Doesn't find anyone. Overtime is ticking down now, and that was the last push. No one can get on it. This is going to go straight over to ICL.
And that is a full hold on the, well, sorry, not a full hold, a hold on the last point for ACL, as they now have to just take the point basically on this, on their own offense. On round 2, is going to be a tall order. It often is a very strong defensive position. Well, strong defensive positions on this map. First point can be a pain to hold if you make a lot of big mistakes, but if you make, you can get away with a couple of little ones, and that's really what we're looking for from the side of Aberdeen, whether they can just refrain from losing players for absolutely nothing. Trading back is fine. They do go down a little bit in terms of spawn disadvantage, but it's not the worst in the world.
Yeah, exactly. So this first point, it is difficult to hold. It has been done before. It is just a lot of making that first fight nice and squeaky clean, keeping all 6 members of the defense up, not losing too many people. But that means you got to be cautious. So you can't be aggressive in your playstyle, find too many kills in the enemy team, which makes most of these fights just go on for far too long. And then the staggers come out, and then you're having a bad time all in all. And then it was just ICL just Aberdeen just pushed on through. But ICL, an amazing hold on the second point there. Let's see if they can make an even better attack.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
As we see, well, unfortunately, no Ana this time. Bebop gonna be on this Moira, and no Ana on the other team. Unlikely to see, obviously, this Bastion come out. Interesting to see Silver Husky possibly posing onto this. No, we're not actually gonna be seeing that Sombra come out, unfortunately, but we do have Silver Husky and Cosmos. Silver Husky running that Lucia, which is a very good pick, but TSG moving on to this Widow, which can find a lot of work on perhaps some of these squishy members like Katsune, like Devotion, Yahaha, and Bebop.
A little bit more difficult considering the Orisa shield is curved at the top, so it's harder to get those shots from up above. But if Devotion sits back there, all calm, like it might be getting the pick off on him with a nice headshot that comes through. TSG just peeking them here, and it looks like Silver Husky will be waiting to speed boost him in. Not really needed as he gets pulled in here. Ronin taking the brunt force of a shotgun, but TSG, he finds Devotion. He's just in a bad spot all in all, and continues to cleave through them, Ronin. And TSG falls down in the background now. Luke still on the point, will find the kill onto Katsune, so that's a lot of damage removed from them. It's up to Sloom, but a tick goes over to the side of ICL. Continue to stay on this. Cosmos will fall next. This push is over.
Aberdeen, a really nice fight there. Only losing 1 tick. Probably not what they're looking for, but at least it's something. We saw a pretty hard rush point coming out from Aberdeen's offense, so definitely not what you want to see come out from the side of Imperial. Well, if you're Aberdeen, obviously, because you want to try and hold for that little bit longer. If you can squeeze out a little bit more mileage on this defense on first point, it really makes a whole world of difference later on.
So they're jumping around this left side right now. So this is going to be the flank. They know they can't take it super fast here. They're going to give an opportunity for TSG to put the pressure on. Will be immediately healed up. Takes a little bit of poke damage in the background there. Still continuing to harass Devotion and Katsune there in the background. They're all clumped up now. So this could be a good time for them to go. But Yaha finally killing the Silver Husky. Going to start this fight out with a bang. Silver Husky actually comes back up again. But Sloom with the Roadhog ultimate. Whole hog taking whole out of the entire team there. Jeez, ICL taking a bad fight.
Yeah, no, and they're still down in ult economy. Not super far off getting about 4-5 there, but still down currently, and this is all that counts. Unless they can really stall out here, but they don't really want to be doing that. They want to get as much time bank as possible moving on to this last point, because they just need 3 ticks. Well, 2 and a bit.
ICL struggling to break this death ball here. Devotion got a little bit wise here, gonna stay around the corner out of the LOS. So actually, Pulse Bomb goes down, doesn't find anyone. So Roadhog gets the hook out, doesn't find anyone either. This is gonna be a lot of hit and miss right now. TSG does kill a Bebop though, and it's gonna hit Sloom just down the point. Lou doing a lot of damage. It's got the sound barrier on top of him, but that supercharger giving this team a lot of extra DPS. Self-Stroke goes down, won't find anyone. Supercharger still alive. Cosmos immediately reses up Lou. He's gonna get into the corner here, wait before he uses self-stroke, get in a better position so TSG can't headshot him, and they can remain on the point for a little bit longer. Haven't quite given up the second tick yet, but they fall as TSG finds some nice picks there, and they're going to take this first point. 5 minutes remaining. See if they can do this.
I was really impressed with Chlorine on the Orisa, finding multiple picks, really good usage of the supercharger, and staying on point, being that man who just delays anything that comes out of ICL. So really impressive Orisa play. Interested to see how this is going to work on this high ground.
So Zelko, we've been seeing him find some nice pulse bomb picks on the first map. It's not going to go in their favor as Katsune domes TSG before he can even get onto the point there. But what we really want to see is Zelko find a nice pulse bomb on the stairs. They are all clumped up. It gives a good opportunity to. There's actually nothing on the side of Aberdeen to eat the pulse bomb, so it's a great opportunity to throw it up.
It certainly is. And Devotion with this Transcendence can do a lot of work to try and stop any sort of combo ultimate come out. But also Aberdeen have just been generating a lot of time in general. And Zelko can't even find a good pulse bomb here, as they do run on in here, but we still have that Transcendence to stop anything from going on. And Katsune with a brilliant 2-pick, and that's pretty much going to shut down that push from the side of ICL. Unfortunate for Lude. Trying to get reset. Is going to get reset now, but a little bit of the stall coming out from the side of Aberdeen.
Zelko repositioning next to the point here. Chlorine doing a great job actually. Got the hold on Sloom, then pulled Zelko in. Panic bomb came out and everyone just spread apart. Didn't want to get anywhere near to it, and that kind of set the fight in favor of Aberdeen there. So maybe they should have understood as soon as Zelko went down, that was a key bomb he needed to get off, and it was just time for them to remove. Zelko will be revealed though by the Infrasight, so his cover's blown. He's going to go out there, no mission impossible for him. I'm just going to back off. They look like they're thinking a little bit, not sure what to do. We're going to wait out the Infrasight for the time being.
But this indecision was also what was happening when they were making the last push, and it just wasted so much time for them. They only got 3 minutes on the board to take 2.5-ish ticks. So it's going to be hard for them to really move on in here, especially so much damage coming from the high ground. We're going to see Lude go very low there, but not quite going down. They're going to all come down to the high ground, but Yahaha finding a lot of damage.
Sloom with that whole hog once again drops down at the critical moment, finds the kills, and it looks like Lude will be picked up by Sloom as well as that TSG. Just remaining topside with the Discord. Doesn't matter though, because no one's there to contest him. They've got too much on their minds and their plates with the big fat hockey boy Roadhog dealing some damage onto them.
That was a beautiful shot actually that came out just there. You might have seen it in the kill feed. Absolutely fantastic. Just hooks up to the high ground, peeks out through the window, and just domes Silver Husky, stalling him just as the rest of the team was about to group up.
Once again, you see this team just chilling around, not sure what to do here. Zelko does have the pulse bomb once again. Ronan got the primal rage to stall on this point, and Infrasight once again comes up, shows them, and all they can see really is the soldier crawling around down there. They're going to initiate on this point, get onto the bridge, but immediately he is forced to use the Transcendence there on the side of Silver Husky. That's not great for this team. They're wanting to really save that for later on. Katsune is on the bottom point now, so he doesn't have that grapple to get him out of there. Self-Struck comes up, there's no shield to block it. Will take down the Supercharge, and Chlorine here, that might just be the push that they needed. Just need to get rid of Yaha now. He's on the point. Sloom does have whole hog, can push a lot of them off it. Will need to use that defense matrix to stop much of that damage coming through now. Silverski remaining on point. Discord probably going to be applied to Sloom immediately. Defense matrix of their own keeps Sloom in the action, for the defense matrix of Lude there actually can remain on the point, and the double bomb picks up devotion and comes out, but doesn't even need it as TSG uses the aimbot and picks up the remaining.
That's just not fair. He's hacking clearly, as he completely shuts them down at that last point, and a really nice collected offense. Whereas we saw the side of Aberdeen getting nickels and dimes in terms of ticks, but really Imperial went right on in there and just took whatever they wanted, took the whole thing in one go. Wow, but that's a really nice ultimate from Lude, and definitely good timing for it at least to set up their team taking the first map.
Brilliantly played from the side of ICL. Aberdeen just managed to push on through for quite a while, but it was Imperial who were going to take that one in the
Imperial definitely not completely dominant over Aberdeen, so I think we definitely have a game in our hands, possibly going to large number of players, so I'm excited about how that's going to go. So definitely not going to be disappointed by this match. Almost certainly. So definitely looking for perhaps Aberdeen to make more strongholds when they have the advantage, when they've taken the point. For example, on Nepal. Whereas Imperial, I want to see them be more decisive. We saw them wait for far too long on a couple of pushes, and it really held the map. They could have. I know they won, but they could have won better, and that's what it's really about.
Yeah, it was all in all a very nice hold. Unfortunately, TSG found the picks out, but eventually got overrun. I think it was as soon as he dropped down, ICL saw the opening, jumped in, got through the chinks in Aberdeen's armor, and pulled this one off pretty nicely.
how it's all going to roll on Nepal. They're hovering some interesting things. I don't believe them. They're lying to me. Katsune hovering Sombra, not likely. TSG, however, on this Pharah is likely. It's definitely a very good Pharah map. We've seen multiple players be fantastic on it. Bebop probably not playing something like the Widow does play support for the team, so would be a bit surprising. Actually, I say that. They were playing Anna prior, if I remember correctly, and I saw them on the opening of the second point on that defense. They fired 2 shots off and just hit them for a bunch of damage and almost killed the enemy Moira, if my memory serves me correctly. Definitely excited to see. Sorry.
Oh, go on, Rook. Do it.
My bad.
Get
Definitely
that color in.
Perhaps some kind of exciting plays come out from Yahaha if he does run this Doomfist. Would be certainly cool to see here. Not sure if it fits the map so well, but certainly can work. Bebop looking to stay perhaps on this. No, I don't think. Yeah, they're going to be swapping off. But Yahaha staying on this Doomfist certainly is exciting, and I'm really interested to see how this is going to work. We'll be seeing a couple of Doomfists in this top 8. So
there they have this free dive here. So Ronan, you're gonna have TSG, and you have Lude jumping in with the Zelko. So immediately Doomfist comes out, trying to look for TSG here, doesn't quite find him, and he's put down by Ronan, electrocuted there. Devotion staying on point now. Lude finds the kill onto Sloom. Cosmos just remaining on point as long as possible. Done a great job avoiding this team. Actually, just in the nick of time, slipped around the side of Chlorine before he could get the charge off onto him. They're gonna take this flip pretty quickly. Doomfist forced out, but not before he picks up Zelko. It's gonna give them an opportunity to push on here with a member of ICL down.
So I definitely still keep your eyes on TSG. Absolutely fantastic in that last fight. Suffice to say, and really excited to see if they can find nutty Helix offers like they did.
Yeah, so this is pretty good kind of from the side of Aberdeen are actually sticking around the side, making sure they can get the LOS on from stay away from the LOS from Silver Husky as he does go low here. Zelko drops the pulse bomb, won't find too much though. Sloom falls shortly afterwards. D-Mech here. Self-destruct comes out. Chlorine just gonna block that one off, but Zelko in the background find a lot of damage onto his enemy team. Katsune picks up the kill on TSG. Chlorine smacking away here, finds Cosmos, and that's gonna be pretty much over for this fight. Still some members on here. Oh, actually the Coalescence comes out. I'm called out on a little bit earlier as Bebop managed to find some more kills. And Aberdeen actually finding this one.
Yeah, managed to take it over, but that's 50% already on the board for the side of ICL. Definitely an advantage. They are down, however, in ultimates. We see Aberdeen with 3, almost 4, nearly in fact 5 with Katsune looking towards that tack visor, whereas we see 1 looking towards maybe 3 for the side of ICL.
Yeah, Devotion has this sound barrier here. TSG probably picked up, but the Katsune, that's a big pick. And Tech Visor is immediately popped here. Here comes the sound barrier, trying to keep the damage off them as soon as possible. Self-Struck is available. It's actually Meteor Strike comes down. Almost finds TSG here. He will fall, and Zelko's doing his best to stay in this one. Dodges out of the way. Yaha remains on point. Recall is used now, so they can go on to him. Zelko does find D-Max though, and kills Sloom shortly afterwards. There's the rest of this team who's fallen slowly but surely on the point.
ICL losing about 45 to 6%, but do make it back on time, and they do have the advantage now. If they can just do a repeat of what they just did, they might be able to take this map pretty this round relatively convincingly. They did lose a couple of just one fight there, but it was certainly looking good for them in that fight originally.
Yeah, so Silver Husky going to be trying to dodge this shadow though, but not before he goes down so quickly to Katsune. They're not able to use the Transcendence. They should probably just lose this one out here. They can flip it pretty quickly, but Lude does found Yaha, so they are fighting this. TSG remains on point. Right, Phil Lude comes out of nowhere, smacks him off the point. Self-Struck not going to do too much there. Cosmos almost seeing too much of the bright lights and going down, but stays around the corner now. And looks like Ronin's just going to stay in the front line. There's nothing they can do about it. Here comes the last fight now though, so Zelko does have the pulse bomb. bomb. Silver Husky with the Transcendence in the pocket. That's going to be the actual healing that they need to remain on point. And Zelko, you see on the corner, Mission Impossible once again going to look for this big pulse bomb now. Sloom taking a lot of the damage from Ronin, remaining on point, getting a big Tesla gun. Devotion goes down, and TSG with a nice Helix Rock and Katsune. That is really not looking so great for them. Yaha falling also. AoE removed from the board, and Chlorine taking a flurry of blows from all over the place in the boxing ring. A Bebop will fall shortly after from a slap to the face from Silver Husky. You're out of here.
Yeah, and Imperial 1-0 up on this first map with a pretty strong series of fights coming out from them. Perhaps looking to make this a swift 2-0. From what we saw in the first map, it looked relatively balanced between these two teams, but they're starting to make it look very one-sided.
Yeah, ICL bringing out the big guns now. They were pretty good on point. Lost it over the first one, found the foot himself on the left side, made sure the team could never get too close to them, and Silver Husky was always in sight of the team to bring out the Discord when it was needed. Chlorine just falling over and over, finding himself in between a rock and a hard place in the middle of the map, and then he turns around, sees that his rest of his team's back in Narnia, not anywhere near him, and falls pretty quickly.
4, 3,
Suddenly as TSG moving now onto this Farah, so I'm very excited to see how that's going to work. Was playing hit scan prior, and I don't think we've seen this. Have we seen the Farah yet from TSG?
Not yet, not yet.
So I'm interested to see how it's going to work. Maybe looking for a sick boop off the side. Don't know if they're
Possibly.
expecting this Farah though.
So it looks like they are coming around this right side, doing a full flip on this point. Defense matrix up, trying to remove the nades from the equation right now. Ronin jumps in, drops his shield, goes down almost immediately, and it's just Lude by himself. TSG trying to rain the bullets from above. Lude falls quickly though. Dia has nades there, and Chlorine just going to back off. They know that they can just outweight this one. Ronin on the point though, on top of Devotion, tries to get him offside the map, knowing that his lead is down there. Sloom finds the pick onto Ronin shortly afterwards, and Katsune clears up the Farah in the sky. No more air support from them. They're just going to back off this.
I feel like, yeah, I think they've swapped off. I think they should swap off of this Farah. Didn't really work so well for them. Didn't really get too much damage coming out from TSG. It may be a little bit early to make that judgment, but certainly it didn't look that fantastic for them, at least in this first push. Imperial struggling a little bit now. In complete contrast to what we saw from just a second ago.
Interesting, Silver Husky switches out, gets on that Farah. The Mercy will be pocked in the Farah now. Katsune does find Zelko, which is surprising considering his mobility, and Katsune's taking the brunt force of these rockets in the sky though. Co-pilot Mercy just trying to keep TSG up, drops a little low close to these targets, taking full damage and smacks his head on the roof though, and will fall to that concussion. Not a great thing to have when you're Farah.
Certainly not. And hey, Aberdeen looking really good on this second map of this, round of this map, making Imperial look like they might be going to this full 3 games. At least we're probably going to these full 3 rounds, unless we see Imperial really step it back up and shift into gears, which they were using on the last round.
Immediately drops the tac visor. Maybe Cosmos need to drop that sound beat a little bit earlier. Self-destruct goes up, but already found Cosmos on side as well, and that actual self-destruct not going to do too much. Lude going to fall shortly afterwards. Dropped out a mech. Does have self-destruct for the next fight, but Zelko's going to fall shortly afterwards as well. And DSG, he's just going to leave this one out of here. Does have Barrage though, probably going to switch off after he uses it, understanding that Katsune is really not one to be reckoned with. His hit scan, it's insane.
I mean, switching off if they've used it, after they've used it, they really don't have enough time, and I think that's why we see TSG swap onto this Genji. The Farah really isn't working out, and they're going to just go full dive, full ham, really try and bring their full force to bear on this Aberdeen side as they try and dive on him, but there's so much damage coming. Zelko, however, looking for a little damage, but gets blown up by Yahaha!
Really nice self-destruct there, tried to shove it in the corner. Out comes the Riptide, won't find anyone, however. Silver Husky trying to stay in the backline, trying to stay on the LOS. Chlorine does have Discord on TSG. Trapped there, will be taken down. Devotion with a nice double boot will take out Cosmos and TSG. And it's Lude who's going to be falling quite quickly next, and Sloom just going to run him down.
And Sloom has been doing absolutely brilliant on this Diva. Really impressive as the team moves on through to the final round of this map. Pretty quick for both of these matches, and it looks like Imperial, unless they start changing things, might be moving on to this third game, a place they definitely don't want to go if they can help it.
Yeah, indeed. So they don't want this to go over to the third match because it's just going to be more time for them. And it's looking that Aberdeen's starting to find a little bit of confidence here to deal with TSG at the moment. So really, Ronan needs to be in the front line, needs to be peeling. And instead of the moment, he's been very, very aggressive with those shields, jumps in, takes a ton of damage from Chlorine's Orisa, and Bebop throws out the damaging orb. It's a tough time for him to stay in that. I think he's better off peeling here, but we'll see what happens in this upcoming.
We certainly will. And I mean, again, TSG on this far, definitely still a good map for them, but when you get on the point, it can be troublesome to really get the damage down if the opponent has it.
Yeah, so much high ground to deal with as well. Chlorine on the Reinhardt, not a great idea for him, especially on control maps, because he needs to take control of the high ground. Shatter might be good, but there's so many opportunities for Farah to stay in the air, or the team of ICL to stay up on high ground. It's going to be difficult for him. Does jump in straight away, though. Lude looking for that back line. Just find Katsune, but he's going to make his way out of there, using the battlefield to keep himself up, taking a lot of damage, though, but it's been Ronin who's going to be taking the wrong end of a grenade launcher in the face. And Slim's just going to remain on the back lines. This is actually working out pretty well between the Reinhardt and the Zarya, despite everything. Cycling out those shields pretty well.
That is very true. They've been cycling them very well. And we're going to be seeing a lot of ultimates coming up for both teams. We're going to be seeing TSG move towards theirs, whereas we see a couple across the board. We see Katsune, Bebop, Devotion, all moving towards theirs on the side of Aberdeen. So really setting up for this next fight where we're looking for something like the Coalescence to really shut down any sort of push coming out from Imperial.
Barrage comes out immediately. That barrier isn't going to keep you up for long. And actually finds two there on top of the first. That's a triple there. Nice barrage. They need to capitalize on this now. TSG finds the kill onto Katsune. That's big. Katsune is the one being given them problems, and they will flip this over. Silver Husky pulling out the pistol to finish the job there as well.
I will not waste.
Yeah, certainly. I do like seeing a bit of the bloodthirsty support, but TSG, man, on this far, I was doubting it. I'm not going to lie. I was completely doubting it. On the last map, sorry, on the last round, looked pretty subpar, but finally managing to show up here with a brilliant, basically team wipe for all of their own. But that's going to be TSG going down. Katsune at least getting taken out by Luke. This is good. Even with that shatter, they're looking like Imperial might be able to retake this.
ICL getting back capped here, so they're going to have to retake the point once again as it ticks on upwards. Primal Rage used, Self-Stroke goes up in the air, Chlorine got his shield up just in time. Katsune actually, before that fight, was focusing far too much on the fire in the sky and got taken out by Lude there, and the rest of this team will be falling quickly and fast. Katsune takes the kill into Cosmos, but it's not enough. He is just one soldier, although he's feeling pretty spry today. He is going to fall here.
A bit unfortunate for Imperial, even though they've won 2 out of 3 of the fights, are still down in percentage because they did get back capped like that. But that's certainly an out for Aberdeen to try and take this to that third map. Been looking pretty good so far. Might find Zelko, misses the hook from Sluman. Yahaha does actually manage to find Zelko near.
Yeah, we're going to be looking for a big barrage here. That's going to be what's going to win this fight out. Silver Husky takes a lot of damage. Barrage is online, drops it down, gets the kill onto Sloop. But it will be Devotion who finds the kill onto TSG. And Coalescence comes out, trying to do some damage on point. And they're going to flip this once again. Oh, ICL not having a great time. Yaha with the triple. Zelko comes back in, might be able to take this. Puts the damage onto the point. Trying to find some of these supports right now.
Yeah, and I know we see this monkey being super aggressive. Chlorine has the shatter. Is going to stop Ronin from going anywhere, and he's going to get shut down. He's going to tick over in pretty short order, but that's a wasted ultimate, I feel, from Katsune. I feel like they would have had this point anyway, but at least he takes that TSG, and they might even not secure it. Not even secure it, with all the kills coming out from Imperial, and a really nice res.
Yeah, that res was absolutely clutch there. Zelko and Lude doing an absolutely amazing job to stay on point as long as they did. Deeper Matrix actually keeping Zelko alive a lot of the time. And the Tag Visor came out, thought he'd won the fight, thought it was over, but it was far from done. They're trying to back cap it once again, but this time Cosmos, he's ready to go. The Galactic Man on the point. Charge comes in, won't find anyone. Chlorine goes down to Lude. Self, the actual pulse bomb goes down just for good measure. Overtime ticking down. This could be it. This could be it. Could be knocking them out of the semi-finals here, and it will be ICL going onward.
Yeah, ICL completely destroying Aberdeen in that last map, very akin to the first. A little bit wobbly on the second, but finally managing to sort themselves out and looking really good here as they completely shut them out with a 2-0 victory. after a 2-1 on this last map. And TSG, this was an absolutely nuts ultimate coming out from them. They completely shut down the spike with some brilliant follow-up rockets as well. I know a couple of the kill profits go to other people, but that was entirely them, and really impressed, and hope they do really well against the current team, which is looking to win this in York.
Just an amazing play coming out. TSG, so dangerous though. He was on the side, so close to death. If he just moved an inch to the side, probably would have killed himself with his own barrage there. So very, very confident play, I'd like to say, from TSG. Managed to win that one out. I'm very surprised. ICL put up an amazing fight despite losing out on Sanctum there, brought it back and took them to the third round and picked it up there. Zelko, Lude, damn, that double team.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I'm very excited to see how these matches look going forward. Imperial have a few holes which they might need to fix before NUEL Live. But definitely looking, they are going to be there at least, which is definitely a testament to how strong they are. And they're going to have to really show that against York. York definitely don't feel like an insurmountable mountain, but they do look pretty good at this current moment.
Oh yeah, indeed. York, pretty damn good. We see ICL now, who's going to be one of the greats. They have this like cohesion. Each player is very mechanically skilled. I think they need a little bit of work on communication, but other than that, if they can bring that up for NUEL Live coming up in the next month or so, they're going to have a good time in the final. Yes, so NUEL Live actually will be happening on the 28th and the 29th of April down in London. Hope to see you there. I'll be lurking. I don't think Rook will be, but the rest of the staff from NUEL will be chilling out.
I'd like to thank you all for coming to watch, and as always, have a lovely week and weekend. And I hope you really enjoyed the games today, and I hope to see, well, hope you all go to NUEL Live.
I go to sleep, open my eyes, I'm looking down. Whenever you're calling, baby, you know I turn around. I see your face, but not one sound. Whatever is calling, baby, you know I turn around. Go to sleep, open my eyes, not one sound. Whatever is calling, baby, you know I turn around. Baby, you know I turn around. Whenever you're calling, baby, you know I turn around. Whatever is calling, baby,